5 Aesop can raise you.
Rise.
Rise. It's one of my favorite moments.
Oh, hey, we're live.
Campaign.
Whoa, everyone has health now.
Everybody.
Bars. What did that?
Whoa, yeah, that's new. We can see
Was
temporary
a,
hit points now.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Was an update. I have it visible to editors, so I'm assuming you guys can see your own, but not others.
No, I can see. I
like
see
it.
everyone's.
Okay.
People. Is this right?
I like this.
If-
I know I said I didn't like it, but I like it.
If we
Now
need
that
to change it, just let me know. But maybe this will give you guys a little better idea.
I cannot see
Oh yeah, we're live.
and I cannot see Kemo's, and I cannot see Sweet Boy and Vidi's anything.
Where'd my token go? Oh, who moved my token?
That's what I'm saying. I can move tokens. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I can see obviously myself. I can see Ridkaz,
Everyone
Aesop,
chill. Everyone chill out. Everyone chill the fuck out.
I can see myself, Aesop, Ridkaz, and Glace.
Scared.
Is this war? Oh no, never mind.
Stop moving me around, please. Stop it. Please, no. Please, God, kill me.
Give me a kiss.
This is riveting, by the
Who-
way.
who else?
Make for
Who else can't see whose?
I cannot see in Vidi's.
Still can't see you. Yeah.
Oh god.
I also cannot see mine. I see everybody else's.
Somebody's the worst.
I think
Don't-
I'm stuck on NPC mode.
Don't move your tokens off of the map, otherwise you're majorly fucked.
Calm down, Vidi.
There we go.
This is
Hey,
too
everybody.
close.
Hey everybody! Those who joined have quickly left.
Look at these assholes fucking around.
Can't imagine why.
Welcome to Wyrd and Wyld, our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition homebrew stream. This is not session 41, this should be session 42. I can update that real quick. In the meantime, why don't you guys roll some dice for the recap?
Oh boy, my favorite part. Aw, suck it, Aesop.
I mean,
Holy shit!
it's fine if Aesop has to give it. Oh,
Hey!
well, I was like, I'm fine.
You know who's giving the recap this week?
Oh yeah, baby!
Oh no.
There we go.
Mother of God.
The author.
Greetings, children. I don't know what
Welcome, Kyle. This is our D&D.
Polished.
Yeah, you know how I do. Hey, NVD, what happened last time on Wyrd and Wyld?
As far as I remember, I'm weird
Oh.
and what.
Hold on. Is Nvidia quiet for anyone?
He's very
I can
quiet.
barely hear him.
Probably. I'll turn my outbound up because I turned
There
it.
we
Much
go.
better.
But I'll just eat the microphone right now because I don't want to break the stream. So what happened last time was we were looking for a way to get into the family, I guess you could call it, the Scuzziotellis. So we went to a tavern of sorts. It was kind of dirty and people didn't want to talk with us, but we used Glace's beguiling magic to kind of find some information that we needed, and we were able to figure out a way to get to Scuzziotelli's. We decided not to stay for the night because we needed to hurry up and go save Hush. So we found a door and we got inside of the door because we knew how to get in.
You found a door. You guys did find a door.
When we got inside, Aesop did some strategic trickery with his brewing talents because we said his name is Stitches and that he's a slave and he's a good, valuable asset. And he killed a slave with his poisons, and they were impressed with us, so we were going to
Temporarily killed.
temporarily killed. That's good. because I was nervous. And then we met this guy named Kemo because he was there. And that's really all I remember other than Chunk being gross and pulling things out of his stomach.
He was told
We
to.
also were still at the 10th pit when we started.
It's true.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
true.
But it was so uneventful that nothing
Yeah,
happened.
it was such a short, uneventful.
Met a really relaxing man. Did an interview of like 5 questions and left.
Pretty simple and easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys should work with them more
Very
often.
easily, nothing happened.
Invidi, underneath your cloak in one of your satchel pockets, you find a weird bit.
Send you to your smell.
Hey, thanks. I'll give this
He
to
says to
Aesop
no one.
when he's not Stitches.
So here, hold on to this slave.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the
I'm up to 40.
Oh, fuck. Before we dive too much further in, let's just do quick introductions. I'm Jaso, the DM. I run the game. Who else is with me today?
Hello, everybody. I am Bailey. I play Glace, Allure, the fabulous, beautiful. What am I? Eidolon. Bard, College of Glamour, next.
Yeah, I'm Luke. I'm playing Aesop, Kenku Blood Hunter, Order of the Lycan, and his alter ego Subject 22.
My name's Kevin. I play Sun Kong, your lovable apeling / bianoid monk, following the way of the abundant spirit.
Who else?
My name's Slim. I'm playing Renkaz, a lizard folk fighter with the skills to be a gunslinger. I hate everyone. I love you guys.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I play Invidi, the half-elf celestial warlock, Pact of the Tome, and I have a phenomenal familiar, the best one all around, a pseudo-dragon named Jerry.
My name's Kyle. I'm Kemo, a Shadar-Kai, dark elf, and the less you know about me, the better.
Nice.
Shit.
Love
Your description on our page layout on Twitch is just like as much text smashed together as possible with your multi-classing shit and all that. Pretty great.
Sounds about right.
Sorry.
Classic Kyle.
Totally
I can't help
fine.
myself. It's a problem.
Kyle, at the beginning of every session, we hand out some inspiration cards for those who don't have one.
What? That's me!
So if you want to draw from there, you're more than welcome to, as well as Aesop.
Yeah.
I have Ghostfire.
Draw 1 cards.
This is also a good time if you feel the need to trade it with anybody else. If you feel like the card may be more advantageous for somebody else, you're welcome to trade it now. Or forever hold your peace.
Feeling pretty good about. I think I'll keep it.
Okay.
No trades.
Alright. So, with that said, thank you everybody who's joined us. If you want to follow us or throw in some loyalty points and buy prizes, you're more than welcome to. We usually leave shoutouts and stuff like that towards the end so we can just play straight D&D, but if I can fit it somewhere in there I will. Otherwise, thank you for watching, whether you're doing it live or on our VOD stuff, either on Twitch or YouTube. Anyways, yes, you guys had entered the estate of the Scuzziotelli family and found yourselves, along with Stitches, who is Aesop in disguise, having to pull off a dangerous stunt in attempting to show off to Zermo, the family head, as he has said, to attempt to impress him by poisoning one of the pretty weak and what you guys probably assume close to death, a pretty cheap one to lose, at least in these people's minds, as a test subject. However, with Aesop's good nature roll, he was able to deduce, at the very least, as the body of the humanoid was being dragged out of the, I believe it was just a normal human, a little scraggly and kind of skinny to the bone, that at the very least, although he certainly felt a incredible amount of pain and probably felt as if he was asphyxiating, that at some point, whether it be minutes or perhaps hours, that eventually Aesop, he will come back to, and at least as much as one can in his already emaciated form as a slave, come back to life and be in relative health.
Yay, I did it.
Seeing this, Zermo, the halfling, seemingly sort of happy about the proceedings, seeing that the Stitches has some skill to him. However, seeing this skill, he mentions that because of this, that you guys are wanted as a audience with the Baron of Skorge. And to escort you there, Zermo steps back into the halls of the estate, and after a good few minutes, as you guys are kind of collecting yourselves after what had just transpired, he returned with a new figure in tow, a medium-sized humanoid named Kemo, as mentioned by Kyle, who described his character last session, Shadar-Kai. And with that, yeah, we'll jump in. So, Kemo, you see the rest of the group. Zermo has asked for you to show them the way to the Baron's palace or abode, and to meet with him there. So what do you guys do?
Are we still standing in the room with Kemo and this little guy I'm going to murder eventually?
Yeah, we basically kind of just stopped right at the end of the episode. The prisoner had been dragged out of the room, and you guys were kind of collecting yourselves, peering around. Although it was empty in this sort of living quarters, there were still some taller guards posted at the back. You see Zermo having mentioned to Kemo that he will more than likely get paid, possibly by the Baron himself if he escorts them there, and introduced you to the group.
So, important, does this Kemo fellow, is he dressed like a Scuzziotelli person?
I don't know. What is Kemo dressed up as? What are his garments?
It'd be pretty unassuming. Like, he'd pass for a street fellow.
Interesting.
Nothing outlandish.
So probably not all that different from what you guys are used to seeing out on the streets. Although probably, at least to some degree, a slightly better garb on this one, as if he finds a little line of work that's a little above the standard sort of just street goer, but still largely dressed like them.
Okay. I'm gonna find a point where I'm at out of earshot, or at least I kind of scuttle close to like Rinkaz and Glace and try to whisper, like, remember, we should try to figure out what's going on with this murder. Could lead us to 21. And then I just kind of trot forward in my chains.
Glace will like nod. Yes.
Aesop or Stitches trots up to this Kemo fellow and just kind of looks vacant, like a dumb bird.
And okay, sorry, my mind went blank. This guy, this little guy here, is he with us?
Zermo has just stepped through the doors and introduced you guys to Kemo, who will be escorting you to the Baron's place.
Oh, okay. Kemo doesn't... I mean, he doesn't look like a... I mean, if he's a slave, he looks like a healthy slave, at least. You're not a slave, are you, Kemo?
He probably just kind of smiles at you.
Oh, I don't...
It's creepy.
I say, well, you remind me of someone.
Oh, we have dealt with his type before. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really usually deal with slaves. I mean, other than... what am I I talking about other than our slaves?
It's fucking smooth. All right.
Zermo gives you a raised eyebrow.
No,
Well, normally, she lets her servants deal with the slaves.
That's right. I don't
Right,
get my head.
slave, and I
Oh,
poke Aesop with the butt of my quarterstaff.
Valuable asset.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we prefer the term asset. We deal in acquisition and assets.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to remind them who they are.
Oh my God, Sunkong, Jesus Christ.
whatever you call your slaves. Doesn't matter to me. When you're
Pick of
ready
the
to go, when you're ready to go, let me know.
Oh.
All right. Aesop's slave is ready to go.
Yes, let's get the show on the road.
All right, with that, Zermo bids you adieu and looks to you, Kemo, and says,
Yes, just escort them over to the Baron's place. You may find there a lucrative reward in turn for you, and perhaps we could find some more inways in the problems we've had recently. But yes, do return.
Kemo kind of stands up straight and says, "One jump at a time."
Oh. Not a multitasker, I see.
Zermo does that thing where he like runs two fingers over his thin mustache and sort of has the two almost ratty teeth at the front of his mouth as he just sort of kind of does a once over of you guys as you kind of begin to make your way towards the front door, I'm assuming.
I hate
The door is opened by a toller who, seeing you guys preparing to leave, kind of steps up and opens it for you. It sways loudly with a iron cringe as the door swings open, and Zermo waves you guys off as you exit the Scuzziotelli estate back into the streets of Skorge proper.
Hey, as we leave, I do want to try to get a look inside of that toller helmet. Just steal a little glimpse to see if I can see what is inside of it.
Sure, make a perception check as you are sort of one of the last leaving and kind of peer a little bit closer into the helmet.
Oh, that is perception. That's a 14.
You, as you're stepping out, see the glass top of the toller's helm, if you could call it that. And as you are stepping out, step a little closer to the figure and sort of peer inside. There is a volume of greenish smoke or mist that sort of wafts through. And as you peer through, you're at least able to make out what looks like the balded head of a relatively emaciated human. Or at least what you can gather to be human. Perhaps there is maybe some amount of elf or something else in there. Perhaps even a dark elf, potentially. But it's a little too difficult to tell. You can kind of make out the silhouette and some very basic features. But beyond that, it's a little too difficult to tell.
Okay. I hurry on out the door.
Alright, you step out, quickly rejoining the others. You hear the closing of the door behind you.
This place is I think.
Okay. Alright, Kemo. Well, thank you for so graciously escorting us to the Scuzziotelli family. Have you been around here long?
You come here often?
Yeah, I've been doing a little work for the Scuzziotellis.
Oh, what kind of work?
He kind of starts making his way. He starts walking, not not to walk away from you, but to just kind of get stuff moving. It's hard to tell with time how long it's been in this place.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. No sun. No, it's just always green, it seems.
Acid pigeons.
Oh, gosh.
You
no.
feel like Kemo, it's probably been a good handful of days now. A week in the plane of the Twixt is a 10-day, which is 10 full days. So you feel like you probably maybe either been here about that long or a little over. But again, it is difficult to tell due to the fact that this moon or planetoid is sort of orbitally locked, and thus only gets the very bit of twilight from the nearby sun that kind of just crests over the landscape. That doesn't really cover too much inside of this hole in the earth that lights up Skorge, so it's really hard to tell. It's almost like a perpetual night.
Or it keeps you busy, you know?
I mean, it must, especially with these people that you're working with. We've heard all kinds of crazy rumors, you know. Like, there was what was it, a murder, I think? Or was it a murder, or was it a death?
Murder!
Oh, murder! Thank you.
You're right, milady. Quiet, you.
Did you have did you work with them during that exciting time?
I want to make like an insight check about this Kenku that's supposedly a slave.
Sure.
Oh, I got news for you, boyo. I have advantage on deception checks because I'm a Kenku.
Yeah, do an opposed roll if you don't mind.
I use my card to make Aesop
gonna be-
fail. I'm just kidding.
That's gonna be a 20 total.
Oh. Okay.
This certainly seems like not your standard slave that you've seen before, having spent a good handful of days here, Kemo.
Yeah.
But his mannerisms and everything else seem to line up with what you would expect from a slave.
I was gonna say, did you dress down to be a slave, or are you still wearing all your accessories again?
I'm in rags and I don't have a mask on. I just have like a little dirty satchel that has alchemy supplies in it.
Alright, so Kemo probably buys it. A murder, you say?
Murder!
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, did you have any juice on it? Were you involved, or was it something that was just rumored?
No, I've been mostly scouting.
Oh, scouting.
Make a history check, Kemo.
Oh, fuck. I'm going back to D20. History, that's 4.
Oh, it begins.
Nailed it. It begins.
You, just trying to stick straight to your work, Kemo, have sort of taken the information that was given to you by Zermo as much as he was willing to divulge, seeing that the family here is clearly one of the wealthier ones, if not the wealthiest, and probably has their fair share of secrets they like to hold on to. So you kind of listened to what you said, but didn't pry too much into it, and have largely just focused on the work that you were given as you began to work for them. So you haven't heard of anything related to a murder, per se.
Alright. Out of character, is the Baron, like, expecting us, like, right away?
Out of character, the party would know that, and it was sort of like a quick offhanded comment, so if you guys don't remember, that's fine, but Zermo did mention that he was going to send word via a carrier pigeon to before he went to get Kemo, to just alert the Baron that you guys will be on your way soon.
Oh.
Okay. And that place that I found during my work, could I lead them past that on the way there, or is that going to take too much time?
Give me a call high or low, and then make a d20 roll. And if you call it, then I'll say it's on the way there.
Low. God damn it.
Don't worry about it. We never get that right.
You could take them there, Kemo, but it is in the opposite direction, about 20-25 minutes on foot. And also, you know that place has a certain thing that has been impounded and is more than likely guarded by tollers.
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
Instead, I'll walk to get some food, because I'm hungry.
Okay, everyone continues to follow Kemo.
So what do you know about this bear?
Just that they're one of the most influential families around here, apparently. And he's the head, obviously.
Kemo will just nod then, and keep walking.
Are you, Kemo, looking specifically for like some place to eat?
Yeah, just to get something foody.
Okay. You know that about 10 minutes, and maybe slightly veered off the path, but still in the general direction heading north from the Scuzziotelli estate, that there's like a small, it's not even like a place where you walk in, it's sort of like a open bar, kind of like that you'd sit at, like Blade Runner style, where you're just sitting out in the open, kind of on some stools, eating from like a kiosk style place that kind of serves food on the outside. And it's not the greatest that you've had in your travels, but it's certainly decent food, at least as far as you could tell, being here at this on this planet.
All right. Do you guys want anything?
No, thanks.
So what's the general reaction of the group? Are they like tapping their foot, waiting to get on, or?
I think Aesop would be irreconcilably twitchy and like impatient, even as just like a little slave bouncing around by people's feet.
All right, we'll take a slurp of whatever he's eating.
Well, I'm eating
I'm as
nothing. I'm a slave. I imagine they're not feeding me.
I would be as calm or as panicked as Glace is, since I'm her bodyguard, and I just go off of how she is.
Glace.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What's agitating your slave?
He's like that. You never know what's going on through his head. I mean, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. He could be hungry, he could be tired, he could just have to go to the bathroom. You know, this is very we're sitting down and eating. This is odd. This is
who knows what's going
on?
Want to meet Baron Master?
He'll be there when we're there.
Oh.
Yes, twitch. Like eyelid twitch.
He's not going to be mad or obsessed or anything.
The whole time he's looking at stitches, and he says, "You know, the Scuzziotellis were looking for a Kenku."
That's why we're here.
What kind of? I mean, we obviously have a very special boy on our hands, but what kind of special Kenku were they looking for?
Me, special Kenku?
Oh, shush, Stitches!
I didn't say special Kenku.
Oh. Well,
I poke him with my quarterstaff.
They're just looking for any Kenku, then?
Why did you think it was a special Kenku?
Because of our special Kenku.
Out from behind, as you guys have saddled up on some stools here, from behind a tattered curtain, a dark elf steps out from back, adorned in relatively normal looking garb, townsfolk garb, and with sort of like a bit of a stained apron. He looks to you all and says, "Welcome to the Wretched Fix." "Hello again," he says, looking over at you, Kemo. He hands out some very tattered, or not even enough for all of you, just a single one or two menus that has some stuff like stewed cabbage, vegetable stew, rye porridge. There's mead, perry, and let's see what else. That's all he has.
It's all good. Yeah, I was just looking to slow the pace down so I could like talk and interview these people before we get on with stuff.
All of this stuff that you guys see on the menu as you're kind of having this conversation, it is extremely cheap. So I would say all of it is, as you guys are perusing the menu, actually like at the most 10 copper or under. Very sort of like run-of-the-mill, probably when some of the workers here at Skorge who aren't affiliated or in chains probably come here after work to get a quick bite to eat before they try to settle in for whatever amount of sleep that they can get. There's one or two other patrons, but you guys know that although it's perpetually night here, that the hour is drawing on, and so most have probably already passed on, which makes seating available at the very least. It's not a very big place, but you guys are all able to find comfortable seating close to one another to sort of have this conversation. If you want to order, you're more than welcome to just kind of mark it off, and you can kind of get whatever you'd like.
I'd like to stand to the side of the table and do what bodyguard do, and just kind of keep my eyes open for anything shady, just within, still earshot of what everyone's saying.
Okay,
Same.
make
I'm standing off.
both of you make a perception check as the conversation kind of draws on.
Ooh, so gone.
Sun Kong, you see on the city streets the occasional covered and robed humanoid. It's difficult to tell their features. You see one or two what look to be pigeons high in the air, sort of close to the ceiling of the sort of cave that makes up this whole inside area of Skorge. You notice at the far end, kind of where you guys came from, is a toller slowly shifting down the city streets, keeping an eye out as you kind of notice him look back and forth. Rinkaz, you see all of these things with your check of 26 for just a second. Across the street, on what you think to be the roof of probably one of the family homes, although you're not sure what family, you think for just a second that you see a shadowy silhouette of something shifting as it disappears.
I look down to Glace and say, "Oh, what a lovely evening it is. It's almost like that time our old friend Decker happened to be tailing us."
Oh, it's one of those evenings. Oh, well, you just keep your eye on this beautiful evening.
Of course. I'm not really that hungry. I had some rations earlier, and no drinks for me. I take a drink from my flask.
Oh, Kemo, do you usually work alone?
Tends to work out that way anymore.
Ever get any supervision or anything, partners, anything like that?
Supervision? Wait, what?
Like, I don't know.
Like adult supervision, not like your vision is super.
No. The kind of work I do, I tend to work alone.
Okay. Well.
This. Who did you say was following you? Sorry,
Rinka's made a note about an evening that the team would know that we were getting tailed. He was just making like a...
Yeah, but what was the name that you used?
Decker.
Decker. Is that a Kenku too?
Decker? Oh, no.
Decker's an old acquaintance.
Me, King.
That's right, Stitches, you Kenku. Do you see how smart he is?
Kemo puts his bowl down. You guys ready?
Yes.
He just starts walking again.
Lasse's gonna like look. She's gonna like look around, like not moving her head, but just when she steps outside, she wants to make sure nobody's like looking or coming towards them. You know.
Sure, you can make a perception check if you'd like.
Once Kemo turns to walk away, Aesop turns towards the group and goes like, "What the fuck?"
Kemo, did you just shove food into your mouth?
No, been pretty leisurely.
Okay, so I would imagine that if anybody else wanted to order, that the barkeep would have brought you guys food that you can kind of chew through as you had this conversation. Then,
Even as casual as it's been, I still feel like this is something like Lasse is like sweating bullets about.
Of course she is.
Every time Kemo asks her a question, she's like, I got a 1, by the way.
Oh, what? What was this for? Oh, perception.
I'll say you focus on what you think to be, as you've heard in the stories down here, to be an acid pigeon, and watch as a single driblet of acidic shit leaves its body.
Oh no!
And you watch as it hits the roof of a house, and you watch the singe as it sort of runs through the angled crest of the house, just studying it, almost mesmerized, completely unaware of whatever else is going on around you.
Nasty.
Are you coming?
Oh, yes.
Aesop's walking as close as he can to Glace.
The dark elf barkeep just sort of nods as I'm assuming you guys sort of leave some loose copper change on the table for him to pay for the food.
Yeah, I'll flip him a whole gold coin.
He looks at it relatively exuberantly. "Please, keep coming by," he says, turning to you, and looks at the others. Does everybody just leave him normal change besides Kemo?
So,
1 gold.
as we're walking, I do casually, and just like it's no big deal. Kemo, I do have the best bodyguards a gal can have, but it has been brought to my attention that we might be being tailed by something. Do you know anything about that?
No, but if we're being followed, we should keep moving.
We should keep moving.
I meant to say, we should keep moving.
I just stare at you, like glassy, vacant-eyed stare.
Okay, well, you don't have any enemies here, do you?
I worked for the Scuzziotelli.
I guess they have a lot of enemies, huh?
One family begets another. Isn't that right?
Kemo gives a half-hearted shrug.
Pardon if I seem maybe too intrusive, but where do you come from?
You're right. That was too intrusive.
Ooh, spicy.
I like grab at the air like I'm trying to, put the words in my mouth. I mean, I can't place it, but you remind me of something.
We've seen a couple of dark elves, right? A couple shadow elves.
Yeah, they are your kind. The Shadar-Kai are. You may have seen 1 or 2 over your time here. They seem relatively rare. Dark elves, on the other hand, are not the majority. Clearly a minority here, but still a decent pocket that you've seen kind of spread amongst the area here. In both roles, both slave owners and slaves, and just typical workers here, as you saw as the barkeep, trying to make their way here.
I've got one of those faces, I guess.
You notice that most of the slave owners were female.
Oh.
Have you, never mind.
It's like,
It's like,
Gotcha.
got him.
I was just thinking, like, probably not the best time to start asking about backstory stuff for me. After I just said I'm not talking about my backstory with you.
Kemo, earlier you mentioned that the Scuzziotelli family were interested in a Kenku, but not a special Kenku.
Yeah. Turns out a bunch of them went missing.
Oh. Missing like they broke free, or missing like they were broke free? I don't. Missing how?
Oh. They, I don't know what I want to say to that, actually.
Kemo, you were relayed the information about the slaves that had up and disappeared.
Mhm.
And whether it was a breakout or something unrelated, the Scuzziotellis seemed a bit baffled, as typically they would be in a state where they'd be relatively easy to find. You know, there's no real escaping this place easily. As you've learned, everything has to come through the scar up above that's up in the earth, through this sort of huge cloud of acidic mist. And even as they do, without permission to land, without a specific without permission, there are a number of members of several different families on guard and sort of like scaffolding that have ballistas that could easily shoot down any sort of pirate spelljammer that would try to enter or leave.
They went missing. And around here, anything that goes missing, it's pretty spectacular.
Oh.
Do they have any leads on them?
I may have found one too.
Oh. Was it another family?
Kemo shrugs full-heartedly. He doesn't know.
Oh. Wow. Interesting.
Aesop doesn't make any indication, but he's really nervous hearing this.
Come on, slave, don't you start falling behind.
Chunk.
Aesop just shoots the iciest glare at Chunk you could possibly imagine.
Oh no. Well, how far away are we?
Actually, I think we're there.
Kemo, you say that feeling as though there's probably another good 10 minutes walk through the streets
Yeah, I
to
don't
get
mind
there.
that being a lie. It's just down the road, then around the corner, and then we gotta go a little further. But we're practically there now.
Sounds like it.
So, what do you do for entertainment?
Not a lot. I've really been kind of working.
Oh.
Man of
Don't get it.
business.
Did you end up on Scourge randomly, or did something bring you here?
Ooh, good question.
Damn it, I meant to ask you guys this first.
Got him!
Damn it. Well, see what makes me so good at my job? So I can always find a portal when I need one.
Oh.
So I've been traveling portal to portal.
Wait, you
That sounds
jumped?
pretty useful.
You jumped through a portal to get here? Why?
There's work to be had.
Gross.
I can respect that.
Our apologies if we seem so interested. How about a question for me, since I've asked you so many?
How did you get here?
Flew here.
Why did you press him to ask us a question?
He was gonna do it anyways.
Courtesy. That's all.
I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but...
Yeah.
Business, right?
I push Aesop a little bit and be like, where's the cell?
How did you flew here? It looks like he really actually doesn't kind of understand that.
A ship.
Ship. A spelljammer?
Kinda.
How else do you get around?
Portals, apparently.
True,
I shiver at the word portals.
But yeah,
Meanwhile, somewhere out in the universe, Amron's like, did someone say portals?
Yeah.
I like portals.
Is anybody exceptionally perceptive?
Not at the moment. My head hurts.
Okay.
I mean,
You notice there's a
Head injury.
bruise on MVD's head.
Still in concussion protocol.
If you wanted to have noticed it, the fact that you flew here on a ship, he actually looks like he considers that pretty hard.
You never been on a ship, Kemo?
He looks at the Kenku again before looking back up to you. No.
Oh.
You don't have to be worried about this Kenku, don't worry. I'll keep him in line if he scares you.
murder all of you as soon as we're done here.
For a slave, he's a good Kenku.
Yeah, sometimes.
For what it's worth.
Could smell better.
I kind of look at Stitches and I like just mouth sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm still mouthing. I will like buy you, I don't know, clothes or food or something, whatever you want. I'm just so sorry.
Sun Kong is fighting the urge so hard to wink.
Oh god, I think Aesop would fucking lose his mind.
He would attack
That's it, you motherfucker!
You mother...
I look to Kemo and say, but ships aren't all that bad, you know. I mean, I'm sure you've had run-ins with a few bad portals, and I blatantly wink to Kemo.
I wink at Kemo as well. And I sort of sigh like I was holding on to that.
He kind of looks at both of you before turning back to the walk.
Yeah, guys, you don't just wink at strangers. That's not something that's normal. I don't know how we've gotten into this habit, but we don't. That's not a normal thing.
Is there something in your eye?
It's an inside joke.
A nervous twitch from gunfire. Looking down the scope too long.
Trigger eyelids or something.
Aesop rolls his fucking eyes so hard they pop out of his skull.
Oh, that's the only things I'm gonna say.
Well,
So,
have you heard of that other rumor around here? You know, there's lots of rumors around this nasty place. Just a big old nasty feathery beast.
no.
Oh, you heard of it or no?
Inside me?
Oh. Oh, let me get a good look at you, boy.
He may be lying.
That's a. What is
Make
that?
the opposed deception check, if you'd like, Kemo.
No.
Oh, did I get it? Wow.
Yeah, I guess, because yours would be the active. No, mine would be the active check, so I win. No. Never heard of it.
Oh.
Tell me about it.
I mean, the rumor is that there's a big nasty bird beast going around here. Hey, maybe that's the thing that took all the Kenku.
It wouldn't be hard to catch these little guys. They're not smart.
Kemo stands up straight after that.
Like, it caught his attention?
Kemo stands up straight after that.
You can make another insight check if you wanted.
Oh, Glace, your fucking insight. God,
This is just
okay, I got it.
God damn it!
10.
Fuck you.
Yes, that.
What would you divulge, Kemo, with her just barely passing?
Well, I think you could probably add it up together now that he's looking for a Kenku.
Uh-huh.
A special Kenku.
Okay, okay. Well, you know, if there's anything that we can help out with, you can let us know.
We might have some extra time. Are you currently aware of any jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something we could help with?
We should get to the bearing.
If you say so.
I kind of look back at Stitches and I like raise my eyebrows like
Yeah, I don't know how Aesop would react to that. He couldn't really react to it as Stitches, though.
Keep moving, slave.
Kemo takes one more look at Stitches.
I mean, you can see the disdain in his face. He can't fucking hide it. Like,
poor Ace. I don't blame him.
The disdain for what? Sorry, I missed that.
for the others in the group, like basically doing slave stuff. Like hey, move along, slave, and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So dumb, these slaves.
Sunkong Rinkaz, make another perception check.
Oh, good.
Oh! Why not?
Oh no, we're dead.
This is
Curse of
great.
Fives. 3 5s.
Sunkong, you're too busy getting all the jabs you can in to Aesop.
He's going.
I love that that's the canon reason.
Rinkaz, you've been sort of just listening to the conversation, you know, usually staying kind of silent as you are, piping up here and there, but still sort of as you typically do, your character kind of tends to keep an eye out, a little bit more of a discerning eye as the group continues on. And nothing seems out of place except that where once there always seemed to be at least a strolling toller guard, there is none. The city streets here are empty, and where there at least was once one or two people in hood and garb shifting through the city streets, these are completely empty.
I know I'm not super intelligent, but could I maybe take a history check or just a base intelligence check to see if I feel like this is anything I've run across before? Any, kind of a setup,
Make a history check.
16.
As a individual with a bounty hunter background who has put yourself in places that are not the most above the board types of areas, Skorge being one of the many, you know that typically it is not the greatest sign to find yourselves alone on the city streets at what you assume would be an hour like this. However, you are with a party of others.
I kind of nudge Sun Kong and clatter and say, remember boys, dangerous streets, eyes up, mouths closed for a bit. So, getting quiet.
I think we should split up.
Oh, that was funny.
Said no one. I guess I don't know what character that was.
Probably one of mine from a previous campaign.
Probably.
Let's split up, gang.
What? Split up?
Is this normal?
How much longer we got, Kemo?
Not far now, Kemo. Although, as you are sort of leading the pack here, there is a sort of fork in the road that leads up to what looks like, from what you can see here, just a bit of housing where it cuts these streets in two, but they do reconnect up ahead. There's sort of like what looks like a little bit of an open courtyard up ahead. Although past that, as you guys are beginning to make your way through the fork and into the open courtyard, you see now gathering at the other end, almost standing, closing off the two entryways further ahead, are a series of what look like humanoid figures, clothed in robes and hoods, making them difficult to discern.
Does it look like they're standing to block our way, or they're just like maybe guarding something?
It's difficult to tell as you guys approach. As you guys get within a certain distance, excuse me, you hear one of them call out,
Hey there. We heard you at the bar before earlier. Looks like you got a pretty nice catch there,
he says, pointing a finger over at Stitches.
Valuable asset.
No, Stitches, this isn't,
Yeah, he is, and he's worth a pretty penny to us. What's it?
No!
What's it to ya?
This is... Oh, no.
I think they're talking about Chunk. Chunk, you're exquisite, buddy. Please tell them how useful you are.
No, not me!
No! Not Chuck either, no!
One of the ones, there seems to be three sort of standing at attention at the right fork and two at the left. One at the left says,
How much were you looking to make from that one? We got a bit of coin on us.
Strictly open for a bit more of a trade and profit. You see, we don't like to lose an asset without one to refurbish and repurpose, so to speak.
Oh, looking to make a profit as well as turn around for something else, then.
Hard work, as you, gentlemen obviously understand.
Not Scuzziotelli. Not Scuzziotelli.
Yeah.
Aesop says, looking back at Ringcast.
they
But
seem...
yeah, we've.
Oh, go ahead, Sunkong.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if you have the coin we're looking for. We've got an appointment already. Maybe you should move aside.
You hear one from the other side say,
A strange lot, all of you. Any others of you for sale along with the bird?
I think you all need to get going. No. We are the Slurelica family, and we only deal with other families, so we are going to be on our way, so goodbye.
How many of them are there, James?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you checked to see if there's more than just the three?
you count 3 to the right that you see up ahead, and at the sort of right fork, and then 2 at the left.
My apologies. What family are you from?
One of them looks to you and says,
The family that's about to own all of you.
Oh, this...
I'd like to see you try.
You fire... Okay.
What kind of work did you say you guys do exactly?
Didn't Rinka says he fired?
I fire. I'm gonna shoot him.
You shoot?
I love it.
Oh, I am on the shittiest planet I have ever been on that have people on it this time. This is the slimiest of the slime. I am not dealing with these people. They're dead.
No.
I am going to ask everyone to please roll me initiative.
Oh boy.
See, if you don't have good charisma or intelligence, and and you're trying to do intimidation, kill one of them off the bat, and they'll leave you alone.
I could have done something like that, or charmed, or something, but you fired, you crazy lizard person.
Classic Rinkaz.
Oh, Indeedy, your golden shiny twinny boy.
No, he had disadvantage. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's not a check. No, he's good. He's good. It's not a check.
Need a light.
Oh my god. You guys will punch in your initiatives there for me.
I'm supposed to be the fast one, yet I can never roll a high initiative.
Alright. Still too many threes. There you go.
Already updated. I got it.
As you draw your rifle, I'm assuming, Rinkaz?
Pistol, actually.
You go to draw your pistol. The figures quickly take notice and begin to pull their hoods down. They look like very scraggly, very hairy, muscled humanoids.
Ew.
Jason, you said there was... When was the last time we saw a guard?
Probably as you guys were mid-conversation, 3-4 minutes, as you were sort of strolling down the pass here following Kemo.
Alright. Good to know.
Seems like the streets here are pretty barren and empty from any onlookers.
How convenient.
With that, Nvidi, it looks as though Rinkaz has had enough of this bullshit and has drawn the ire of this group. They seem poised to attack. What do you do?
Shouldn't Rinkaz get a surprise attack or something?
Normally, if he was in a situation where he could pull his weapon, you know, with some amount of stealth to it, but they were clearly focusing on you guys, just seeing any amount of attempt to create a combat, they would get ready themselves.
The great way to describe this is the thing with Han Solo and Greedo. Greedo had his weapon pointed, but Han shot first. Because Han won the initiative roll. Get it?
You guys could always attempt to sort of make a stealth of sleight of hand check if you wanted to do something sneaky, or if you were hidden somewhere. But they were clearly watching you, and it seems as though the moment they saw initiation to combat, they readied themselves too. So, Nvidi, what do you do, buddy?
Do I notice Rinkaz grabbing his gun?
You would, yes.
Okay. I'm going to make an assumption that he's going to fire, and I want to sling 2 Eldritch Blasts, 1 and 2, to try and knock these 2 guys back.
Oh no.
Sure.
Was that an oh no? Not supposed to be attacking.
I said, oh no.
No.
First one on the top, 117 versus AC.
That is going to hit.
For 15 force damage. Push back 10.
Go Grits.
What does it look like as you fire off this blast, Nvidi?
I'm going to swipe both my hands kind of outward, since they'd kind of be like either at my side or at my chest, and it's just going to fling 2 beams of light.
You guys watch as the figure pulling off now the cape and hood. He is wearing very simple cloth pants, although they seem torn just above the knee. And he is shirtless. A large chest, a tuft of hair covers his chest and arms as he's hit by this blast and thrown 10 feet back into one of the nearby buildings.
Second one, 19 versus AC on the one in the middle.
That hits.
For 6 force damage, push back 10, please.
Keno crit fail.
Critical kit frame.
Well, I got perfect damage on one. I got minimum damage on the other.
Said 6 damage.
6.
All right.
So
You
average, it hurt.
throw this one back. He sneers. You notice now he has very pronounced canines. What else you got?
Does anyone else have anything to say?
As far as them or us?
Are you saying that to them?
More towards them, but I guess I'd just kind of yell it.
They all snarl at you in a very sort of carnal way. Animalistic almost.
Almost like there's some sort of werewolves or something like that.
Nice doggies.
Alright. That will... It looks like they're okay. I will shift up 1 space.
The ground beneath you in this sort of open courtyard seems as if the earth below you has been dug into or upturned, and it's a little rocky, but it's not difficult terrain. Up ahead of you, you and the rest of you guys notice what looks like a large metal casing, relatively black, and covered in a bit of sort of the greenish soot that pervades some of the smoke around here. Yes, up ahead. It stands about 10 to 12 feet tall and is about 10 feet in diameter. There looks to be some sort of what may be some type of shifting door or face of a door on the front. There seems to be sort of like a outline marking, but besides that, you are not sure what this may be. Was your movement ending there, NVD?
Yeah, I just want to kind of step forward as I say that.
Alright, Kemo, these figures seem like they are particularly hostile now that you saw your escortee over there pull his weapon.
Alright. Yeah. So Kemo would slowly draw his weapon. We call any of these squares dark dim light?
They are totally dim light.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
just as sword crests the scabbard, Kemo appears back here. And that is my bonus action to shadow step and move 60 feet into dim light. Then it's beat that out.
Make a stealth check as you appear behind him.
Okay. Stealth is 8.
You apparate behind, but as you sort of shift your footing ready to attack, he turns his head to notice you and snarls.
That's fine. So Shadow Step also gives me advantage on my next. So.
Cool, okay. So he hasn't turned fully around yet, kind of exposing his back to you.
Yeah, so. Shot. Okay, 21 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
Takes 12 damage.
What are you slicing into him with?
It is a short sword. I kind of think of it kind of more like a Chinese straight sword rather than like a Japanese straight sidearm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did it look like to the rest of the group as you sort of shift into the shadows and appear behind this guy?
So as I'm pulling that sword out, like I just disappear, and by the time you see me again, I'm lunging at him, making a strike at him, right in the middle.
Did you just fucking Nightcrawler across?
I don't know what that is.
Well, I also didn't say that in character.
No. I don't think I could hear you. So second attack. Boom, 19 to hit.
Totally hits.
Boom. 10 more damage.
You
22 damage
slice
altogether.
into his hairy back, and he growls angrily, kind of clutching at his back where you cut into him.
Piercing for what it's worth. I'm going to use my additional movement. How far up do you think is the spire?
Is that a silvered or magical weapon that you hold in your hands?
It is my monk weapon, so it is magical touch. It counts as magic.
Okay, got it. To clamber up to the top of the building, up on that roof, it looks like it would require 15 spaces of vertical movement to kind of shift your character up that square to be on top.
15 times 5 feet, or 15 squares?
Like you would need 15 feet of movement to like pop up onto the top of the roof, basically, right
okay.
there.
Well then, you'll see me effortlessly glide up to the top of the tower as I run away.
It looks easy enough. You guys watch as Kemo just quickly grabs sort of a window seal and pops himself up to a nearby lantern posted on the housing wall and kind of flips right up onto the roof, rolling to the left and standing at attention. Please make me, Kemo, now that you're on the roof and you have some vantage of this area, make me a perception check, please.
6, 13.
Okay, that's a pretty decent check. You now notice where you didn't before, Kemo, that clambering onto the top of some of the housing behind the group are 3 looking creatures, nasty looking creatures of some type. They are smaller in shape. They look as though they are almost like a mix between a furry tarantula with legs and abdomen, but with the top half, neck, and face of what look like almost like a moray eel. They are sneakily shifting closer, approaching, peering over the edge of the buildings to look down at the group and notice now as you lock eyes with them.
Alright, do I get a chance to shout at people? Or...
Sure, yeah.
Alright, shit, wouldn't shout. You would say, hopefully loud enough that you can hear him. Watch out behind you. More on.
You guys turn to see them, although from this vantage point, at least where you're standing at, trying to fire at them with ranged attacks, they would have a little bit of cover, only because they're that high and up, and they're not at the full edge of the buildings. But you do notice them now that Kemo's pointed them out.
These are Nyogi.
Yep.
Says Luke and not Aesop.
Yeah, and did he get an attack of opportunity on me for the moving out of range?
I know you're a monk. He's allowed to give you a swing, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's normal movement, just straight
All right.
up.
So he is totally going to, thank you for reminding me, he's totally going to try and swipe at you. However, hang on, let me make a D1 hundo.
Uh-oh. Why D1 hundo? Oh, did he must have, I don't know.
He is going to try to use his jaws to tear into you.
Num 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 num. Tasty.
And rolls a 1 as he bites into the metal lamppost, grinding his teeth and taking a slight bit of damage from doing so.
God, what a stupid asshole. So dumb.
Almost as dumb as these slaves.
No.
Oh, it's over.
You ever have a really long ride home with the person that you just...
Anything
you ever
else,
have to live
Kemo?
with that person on a ship?
No, that's it.
Alright. You guys all watch as these figures, now rending themselves free from their adornments, begin to shift, their skin and muscles bulging, the already fine layer of hair covering their bodies growing thicker now. They roar out as they shift and transform into werewolf-like creatures. You guys realize these are the Vodani.
Oh no.
Shit.
One, as opposed to the others, slightly taller and more muscular than the other group. You see having sort of dreadlocks adorning his hair behind his two woofy ears, turns and points up your way, Kemo. You watch as he shifts 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh, he's climbing.
35. He clambers up. You hear the sound of glass cracking and claws digging through stone as they scrape across as he grabs onto the edge of the roof and pulls himself up.
You guys are pretty fast.
He is going to attempt to swipe at you with two ferocious looking, brightly colored claws.
Well, don't do that. It's not very nice at all.
Does a 16 hit your AC?
16 hits.
Alright. He rins into you with the first hit. Let's see here.
And if I want to know the next roll hit, because I have a... Yeah.
You want to know that now or after I do damage here?
Yeah, okay, so I let the 16 hit me. Second.
He throws some... you're kind of caught off guard as he launches himself up here with like wolf-like strength and rins across your chest as you kind of pull back, but you still are kind of caught by the claws for 7 slashing damage, and he goes to swipe at you again. This attack is a unnatural 20.
Oh, shit. Okay, that one's gonna have to hit me then.
He swipes with the other hand. This time you are just able to shift your shoulder low enough to almost shift totally out of the way, only taking 2 slashing damage.
Oh.
He finally comes down, closing in on what looks to be your neck with a open jaw full of jagged-looking, nasty teeth. Does a 17, I'm assuming, hit AC?
It doesn't when I interpose my weapon between us. I get 4 extra AC for 20.
Oh, very good. You quickly throw up your blade and just catch it sort of like diagonal in between his open jaws. He tries to close shut, pushing in on you, but you're able to sort of hold back and using the sharp end of the blade, push into his mouth to throw him off of you before he's able to sink his teeth into you. The other two bound forward towards you, Rinkaz. This one bounds up. I'm going to make a roll here. Okay.
Dang, I've never felt so inadequate with a 15 roll on initiative.
Shut up.
A 26, I'm assuming, is going to hit AC.
Oof.
I'll take that as a yes. As he rins into you through your overcoat, kind of catching you in the side for 4 points of slashing damage.
Oh, it's drink toss?
Yes.
Rinkaz, you're on mute, buddy.
I heard you.
Okay.
He throws a second set of claws at you for 15 versus AC.
Nope.
You kind of quickly rebound with elbowing in the side of his arm, kind of catching it off. He finally goes in to close his jaws on the side of your exposed abdomen at the higher point of the side of your chest for 21 versus AC.
That hits.
He sinks his teeth in. For 3 points of piercing damage. You feel the pain of him clenching his teeth into your side, Rinkaz, and you notice a glimmer in his eyes. They begin to go bloodshot, and you notice as he clenches his teeth into you, his mouth begins to foam and he begins to growl. There's an almost more feral-like nature in his look. He begins to shift, almost pulling his head like a dog left to right. I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm all for it. And I would like to offer a card to him. I assume we can use our cards at any time, correct?
I think you can, yes. I'll say that you can.
I'm gonna throw
Getting-
Ghost Fire at him.
Oh, hitting him with Ghost Fire?
Not worried about taking the damage. I'm worried about giving him 2d6 cold.
Okay. Now just remember this is a save, not damage, per se. I don't know what the effect is. Could be damage.
Well, I think he's giving him the cold damage.
Okay. Go ahead and give me the 2d6 roll then, please.
Nice.
As he sinks his teeth in, you quickly grab your weapon and shift it to a mode that as where you can overheat your weapon to make your, what is it, like your critical shot or whatever that is?
Yes.
You almost do the reverse and you feel the stinging coldness of the weapon and kind of just quickly just bash him in the face with it for, what is that, 10 cold points overall?
Yes.
He snarls as you kind of smash him into the face.
And
And
you
with
said it was
that-
a con save.
I will need a con save, yes.
20.
Very good. You feel a stinging sensation in your side as he sinks his teeth in. Something shifting through your veins, stinging, but you hold yourself taut and feel whatever was wringing out this sensation of pain coming from the bite doesn't enter the rest of your body. However, he still is foaming at the mouth. His claws almost look like they've extended just a bit more. This second one is going to move right here. And he's going to attempt to tear a set of claws into Nvidi for 15 points, or 15 versus AC.
Nvidi could have moved back too, but he decided to move forward.
Move forward to protect valuable asset.
Oh.
15 hits.
He catches you as you quickly sort of repost with your wand or your staff, I believe, only dealing like 3 points of slashing damage. He throws another set of claws your way, Nvidi, again for 15 versus AC.
Right.
This time... Go ahead.
I don't have my bars now all of a sudden.
Oh,
Oh.
you should.
Oh yeah,
Hang
I
on.
can't see his.
Here, hang on just a second.
That's okay. I'll be invulnerable NPC this fight.
There we go. There we go.
I also can't see the numbers on excuse me, Kemo's character.
Jesus.
I've had a few beers. You have to give me a break there.
Felt a waft of water.
I'm just gonna set his as visible to everyone. It's really weird how this is taking it. Can you see it now?
I
Yes.
can see it now, yeah. I'm trying to edit.
Specialized.
Not letting me edit, though.
You should be able to. This is...
Let me reload. Okay, so I took 3, and then what else? I'm sorry.
The second set of claws comes up, kind of catching you off guard as you're doing your best to dodge the first ones, and kind of cuts up across your chest, this time for 5 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
He readies his jaws, rows of nasty looking sharp teeth, He opens wide and attempts to munch down onto you, Glace.
Oh, me!
For 10 versus AC.
You were so worried about Adviti.
For how much, Jason?
10 versus AC.
Oh no. Get off me! No, it doesn't hit me.
You quickly, Brooklyn, sort of like flip backwards out of the way as his jaw shut down, missing you. He snarls, unimpressed.
Bad. Bad. No.
This one down here clambers up, launching himself up against the building and pulling himself up next to you, Kemo, and attempts to slice you with his claws for 16 versus AC.
Oh, god damn it. Roll lower than that.
Jason never rolls lower than that, just FYI.
No.
You take 3 slashing damage, and he brings down a second set of claws. This time for 22 versus AC. This is not a big modifier either. He catches you with his other set of claws as you're trying to quickly go back and forth between the two here for 6 points of slashing damage. He finally attempts to bring down his set of jaws onto you, this time completely missing for 7 versus AC.
Yes.
You drop down on a hand, sort of like a side push-up as his jaws snap above you, and kind of quickly use that hand to push yourself back up. All weird monk style. This one is going to run over here to you, Sun Kong. He swipes for 18 versus AC with a sharp set of claws. Sun Kong?
That matches.
Okay. He catches you for 5 points of slashing damage. He goes to swipe again quickly with his other hand for 16 versus AC.
Miss.
This time you catch with your staff, I'm assuming, in hand. Finally, he attempts to bite down on you for 18 versus AC.
Matches again.
You feel the sharp, piercing pain as he bites into your exposed forearm, sinking his teeth deep. His eyes begin to shift, growing bloodshot, and you notice a foam building up around his teeth. He kind of pulls his head back and forth, making the pain hurt more. You take 5 points of piercing damage. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw,
Come on,
please.
son. Come on. No more injuries.
I don't have any modifier, so that's what,
just
Constitution?
Yeah,
no,
straight
it
14. You feel a emanating sensation of pain, as if your blood is boiling, something running through your veins that pierces and hurts. But you quickly grab at your elbow and tense up, and don't feel it shifting any further into your body.
Whatever that was that considered a poison or disease?
I don't really know. Let's see if we can pull it up here.
Yeah, just because I'm immune to poison and disease, so...
In 5e, lycanthropy is a curse.
God damn it.
Thank you, other god.
Thanks, Uncle.
Uncle.
For helping Daddy.
Glace, the nasty Vodani have infiltrated your group and also attempted to crawl up with Kemo on top of the roof and assault him. What do you do?
Well, I'm very worried about the one that just got his drooly face all over me. And I'm going to activate my unearthly beauty.
You all watch as a number of sparkling, scintillating motes surround Glace. As you notice her, it's almost hard to pull your eyes away from her. She has a distracting beauty to her.
And I would like... Ooh, because he's close to me, I can't cast anything, or he gets opportunity attack, is that right?
If it's a ranged attack, yes.
Gross. Okay, then I'll do Kiss of a Wounding on him.
Alright.
Okay, because we're fighting furries, I get it.
Come here,
Counts as on
baby.
you.
Gross. this is, let's see, the creature must make a constitution saving throw. DC 17.
Alright. Let's have this burly boy make a saving throw. He fails.
Oh, good. He takes 2d12 force damage. Oh, wait. If in combat, make a melee spell attack. Sorry. God, why do they even have that first part there? I'm gonna roll. What is that? An unnatural 20.
Hits.
Nice.
So you can go ahead and roll your damage.
Yes. 2d12. Yeah. 8. God.
Glace leans in, probably giving like a from the hand smooch towards the creature at a somewhat close distance, but not giving him a physical smooch.
Yeah, I'll do that thing where I'll kiss like my fingertips and like smack him with my hand.
You notice a gash well up near the mark where you smack him.
Okay, and I'm done.
Alright, Clatter stands at attention behind you, ready to assist if needs be. Alright, let's see here. Give me just a second here. I need to check something.
Ugh, God. Jason. Checking things for accuracy.
Such a bitch.
I know.
Guys, if you haven't already taken the opportunity,
D&D Beyond.
This one shifts back. You guys see the one north of you on the map here shifts a little further from your sight, and you hear
Ew.
Great reaction.
This one shifts up. The one that's sort of in the middle kind of shifts closer towards the edge of the roofing here. Kind of closely watching all of you. This one does the same thing. Rinkez, you feel something shifting, something piercing into your mind. Please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Do I fail? If so, indomitable?
You would fail with a 13.
I guess I fail.
Welcome to the Indomitable Club. It never fucking works.
That's terrible.
Source, I played an Eldritch Knight from 1 to 20. It never fucking works.
Never.
for saving.
Yeah, the salt is real.
Rinkez, you
5
feel
years
your
or so.
mind being compelled by another entity. You fight back, but it is too difficult to rend yourself free from its mental control. You hear, at least at first, the sounds of in your mind as it shifts to kill them all.
Oh no.
So I start combat with trying to use the gem and that damn gun to charm one of them so they'll leave us the hell alone and walk away. And I end up being charmed myself.
Honey, if you need charming lessons, you can always talk to me, out of character.
I'm going to rip the gem out of this gun and throw it at them.
Sun Kong, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as you feel a piercing sensation in the back of your mind.
Oh, wisdom saving throw. That's not bad for a monk. Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
You feel as though something is trying to shift, take full control. Sun Kong, we must fight back
They're attempting to gain control of us.
Was that, hold on.
You okay, buddy?
Sun Kong looks a little dazed for just a second.
Is this causing me to be charmed or frightened?
Let me read the specific text.
Guys, D&D Beyond is a program you could use.
I just don't know what's happening to me.
Yes.
If you hate money.
It is? Okay.
You succeed, though.
Oh, cool.
Along with Roshi sort of helping you out, you remain resilient with your mind friend, centering yourself. Although now you see Rink has shift, looking a little less worried about the creatures right next to him and kind of turning his attention toward the rest of you. But still keeping them in sight. Rinkaz, what do you do, buddy?
This is not good.
You feel the need to end everything around you.
That's no different than how I naturally feel. I look to the monster in front of me that's gnawing on my arm and say, "Oh, darn. And I wanted to turn into a were-jackass. No mule for me." And I point my gun at him and I shoot him.
Okay.
It is magical because of that stupid gem. I'm not going to use the gem's effect. I'm just going to shoot.
Sure.
Let's see. I haven't used the pistol in forever. Alright. 19 hit.
Totally.
For 8.
You fire almost a point-blank shot into the neck of the Vodani. It squelches as it pulls free of biting into you.
27.
So many delicious targets around. Firing another shot into this one that totally hits.
14.
Another blast from your rifle. Smashing into it. It's almost thrown back by the blast that you just kind of shoot right into its chest. A streak of blood splashing out from behind it.
I would like to use my action surge because I think it fits the situation of wanting to kill everything.
Sure.
I keep spraying it with the pistol and saying, "Bad dog, bad dog." It's a 13 hit.
13 hits.
9?
9.
You fire another shot into it. It is relatively riddled with your fire at this point. It kind of grabs at its wounds, still foaming at the mouth.
Injured, I use a point of grit to increase the damage on my weapon.
Okay.
The 13 hits
13 hits.
for 7 plus 7, 14 total.
You overcharging your shot, it goes from the cold, stinging, icy feel in your hands to the opposite, a almost burning sensation. Although holding it at the grip, you're just able to manage and fire off a shot that pierces through it, and you see digs into a good portion of the stone side wall of the house below Kemo. The Vodani reels back, and you can see now just blood just pooling in between its fur.
As a bonus action, once per short rest, I can make a special bite attack. If it hits, I gain temporary HP. I'm going to bite him.
Ooh, do you want to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
I want it to die.
Savage mode.
Look, you do you, man. It's fine.
What's
Cross my fingers, hope it hits. Nope.
Oh.
no.
It was worth a shot. If I'm compelled to kill, I'm gonna go for it.
Guys, we're doing great. Look at you.
Your mouth opens the wrong way and your head turns inside.
Oh,
What
God,
the
I
hell?
hope this is a head injury.
Actually, I'm gonna steal that card, Rinkaz. I'm making a new rule, which I think I mentioned before. I may not have to everyone, but I want to instill this now. I'm sorry if I didn't previously. Bad luck cards, I'm gonna take them so that I can read what they do and you guys can't.
Oh no!
Better take that now.
So the one that you have, Rinkaz, unfortunately, isn't the one that's gonna be that you have to deal with.
No.
Oh no!
Different kind of hell.
Which sucks because this was a good one to get rid of. I don't wanna get rid of it.
That just misses, although this guy looks in bad shape. Anything else, Rinkaz?
I just growl and yell and go full lizard rage at him.
Rinkaz looks almost as feral now as some of the others here, interestingly enough. Jira. What does Jira do?
Jira.
Sorry, if you want to get rid of it.
Oh, here, thank you.
Jira is going to just slide over here behind Sun Kong
Okay.
and just kind of hide.
Alright. Is that it for Jira?
Yeah, he genuinely can't do anything. He
Okay,
doesn't
that's
really
fine.
have any of his own stuff.
He's got his stuff in the back if he needs it. Everyone's relatively okay so far. Aesop, you're up.
Fucked him
Oh,
up.
Covered in
Aesop.
chains. What
Alright,
do you do?
I see. Well, remember, I'm in breakaway chains pretty much. These aren't actually...
Easily to break through yourself, but
I can break these cuffs.
So, I'm seeing a lot of bestial stuff around me.
sure is a lot of it.
Aesop looks up to Kemo and says, Kemo! My name is Aesop and I'm taking a risk by trusting you, but I hope I'm not the Kenku you're looking for. And Aesop kind of doubles over and roars as he transforms into Subject 22.
Everybody kill everyone. No one.
Yes, so long, so starve hungry.
I fucking wish I had fan burst for your
Oh yeah,
bleeding noise. Was that on fan burst? I don't remember.
It was.
Fuck. Aesop roars loudly. We can just let you keep using the token down there for your stats, Aesop, if you want.
Sure.
And
Yes.
in your place, if you want to explain to Kemo what happens.
Yeah, so it's kind of what it says in the little macro there. Aesop convulses, and his form almost doubles in size, like he's Dragonborn size now instead of little tiny Kenku size. And he's got these. Oh, nice! With the Godzilla roar. So he's got this big, gnarly, serrated beak, these huge claws, and these like vestigial wings that actually form into full wings now. I forgot about that. I can fly.
Fucking fly.
Yes!
Yes, you can.
Yes, flat wings! Yes!
Big furry ones, big fuzzy mean ones. First, please.
Aesop juts into the sky and takes his claws and rips into his chest, setting his claws on fire.
Up at this height, Subject 21, you see quite a number of tasty morsels now actually littered on top of the roofs of the buildings, now easily accessible to you with your full wings.
Yes. Kill, eat, roach, bug! And I fly over to this guy. A nice distance away to where I don't have to make bloodlust rolls against my friends.
Yay!
I'm gonna make a claw attack against this guy. That's a 16 to hit.
That is... Oh, these poor babies. That's gonna hit.
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 magical because I set my claws on fire.
Oh, shit.
Slashing damage and 6 fire damage.
You rend into it with your claws. Let's see, 10 slashing damage and 6 additional fire?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. You rend into it, doing a considerable amount of damage, blood splattering and dripping off the side of the roof here, kind of singeing its fur with your fiery claws as you dig into it.
So hungry, and I'll do another claw attack.
All right.
That's a 14 to hit.
That just misses.
Oh no! Okay, well, good enough. Aesop, or rather Subject 22, is going to maneuver, still flying, around to the back of this guy, and ends his turn.
All right. In a single claw swipe, you see that this creature is a little worse for wear.
Oh, dang. So close.
Let's see here. With that, we're going to shift to... Let's see.
The monkey.
It's finally my turn, Daddy.
Wow.
Sun Kong, my son, you're up.
Alright, so I pull out my silver quarterstaff.
It spins around between your fingers as you ready it.
Yes, and I will attack the one who bit me.
Sure. A silvered quarterstaff.
Oh!
I do believe that's a good card for you, sir.
He gets a good boy card.
Take one of those, buddy, and you do your crit damage.
Yeah, you get some candies with those good boy points.
Hey.
Oh, not bad.
That could come in handy.
Cool.
So go ahead and put that in your pocket. See how there you go.
No, I was trying.
Check this out, guys.
Okay, and also I'm going to use a key point to activate Stunning Fist. So after with this hit, you also will take, or will make a Constitution, I think it is.
You let me know.
Con save.
It is okay, yeah. Constitution, which is my 15.
That's gonna hit.
Alright, so you're stunned until the start of my next turn. So I roll twice, but only add the modifier
That's correct.
once, right?
Yep, you got it.
So 18 plus we'll take. Oh, then wow, it's the same. So, but 18 and plus 6, so 24 damage that first hit. I will also activate Flurry of Blows with a key point, so I get to take 2 bonus hits.
You smash
27.
into it with a strike. You watch as its body convulses and its movement shifts, coming to almost like a standstill.
Oh, and this is all with my silver quarterstaff. I don't know if that changes anything for you.
That is important, but it's definitely doing some damage here.
So this one is 13 damage, and then my next attack. Oh!
Jesus.
Wow, this is amazing. This bitch is dead, Jason.
This has never happened.
On confirmed swiper.
Time for it.
You already
Do I get
have.
another card?
You already have a card.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't get another, but you do get to do another set of crit damage.
Did you crit again?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
25 damage.
Sun
Still
Kong,
alive?
you deliver a just lightning fast number of blows. The first attack completely stunning the creature, so as you just smash into it, you watch as the rest of your strikes hit, and you stand back after delivering this volley, keeping your fist clenched around your quarterstaff. You watch for just a second, and you're wondering, usually when you do this, there's bruising, sometimes cuts and marks against the creature that form. You see nothing for just a second, and then all of a sudden the creature explodes. A ripple of bruises and just tear marks, and blood splatters across it as you kill it.
Gross.
Ooh, yeah.
You don't touch Glace.
Ooh.
Another enemy shifts close to you, Rinkaz.
Oh no!
Oh well, it's worth it.
Who are you trying to hit? The one next to Rinkaz is pretty damn beat up, by the way.
I'm gonna wear him as a hat.
All right, that totally hits.
11 damage.
All right.
Eight damage. $13 damage.
What's it look like when this one dies?
Oh my god!
I with every hit, since I hit 3 times, I go, "You're a bad dog." I just hit it over the head, like I bopped him on the nose.
He crumples with almost a whimper, crumpling over into just a mass of a bloody heap after you smash into him with your staff.
I look at the one next to me and Vinkaz. I'm like, "You're next." That's my turn.
All right. With that, we roll back up to the top. Nvidia, you're up.
Can I see up on the roof, or any of these roofs from where I'm at? Roofs.
You would have a difficult time seeing the one that's up above you up north. The two, though, that are to the right of you, because they're sort of on the edge of the roof, you can see them pretty clearly. They're about 15 feet up, but you could still target them and not receive any sort of disadvantage for it.
So I could target that one to the east, no problem?
You could, yes.
Okay, I want to spin around since that guy dropped dead at my feet and Sun Kong just leaped into action next to me. Want to shift one away again, and I want to fire 2 Eldritch Blasts, the one on the roof up there.
Sure.
18 versus AC.
That hits.
For 13 force damage, no push.
You fire off a light volley that shoots out from your brightened hand and smashes into the creature that was kind of looking over at the area of Rinkaz and Sun Kong.
Second one's going to fire right behind it. 26 versus AC.
Totally hits.
10 force damage.
Another blast smashing into it. It almost doubles over and kind of uses 2 of its spider-like legs to keep it pushed up and from tipping over the side of the roof.
And that's going to be it for me.
Alright, Kemo, you have 2 werewolf-like creatures assaulting you.
Any help over here? So I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike myself.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So movement doesn't prevent opportunity. I get bonus 30 feet of speed. This is 5 base speed.
There's sort of that like Quicksilver thing as your body shifts. There's sort of that just like slight like shift in the air that sort of moves with your form. And the 2 wolves sort of snap and throw a claw, but just catch that sort of shadow image in the air, that translucent shifting of where your form used to be as you quickly nearly move from one roof to another next to the Neogi that stands above you here.
And so to play our card, we use our inspiration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bam.
Nice.
You can choose 2 from that card.
Ooh,
Oh yeah! Wow, I choose 2. That's awesome.
those are the best ones where you can
Hell
choose two.
Yeah, so how long does my second one last? Like, I'm gonna take the gain advantage, obviously, and then also do the immediate D8 plus D8 to lose a D8 option. How long does that last? Does it stick with me until I use it?
You would, and you can save this if you want. I'll just tell you, it kind of needs to be done at the time of, like, you rolled and you rolled way too low to hit it. That's when you'd throw your inspiration out there and choose that to use it.
Well, isn't that the same thing as using advantage on your next D20 roll?
No, because you have to use the result.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, well, because I've already got advantage from right? 'Cause if I take gain advantage on them, that's all the advantage I can use on weapon attacks I can make.
Yes.
Is Kyle breaking up for anyone else?
A little
Yeah,
bit
a
to
little
me,
bit.
yeah.
Just
Try
running so
reconnect
fast.
Hello?
Hello?
Yo.
So for
So
like
I've got-
this, you could either use the first 2 here, or I'll allow you to make a roll, just because we're explaining the card here now. And if you roll too low to hit, that's when I'd allow you to play the card, and you could essentially play the bottom 2.
Okay. Alright.
But it kind of has to be done, at that moment. So like a d20 you
that's-
just roll.
Yeah. I didn't intend to, overstack this. It was just Zephyr Strike is really powerful.
So Zephyr Strike gives you advantage?
It gives me advantage and extra damage on this, too.
Okay.
So let's just get that out of the way.
So if you want to hold on to the card, I'll allow it, if you'd like.
Alright. Yeah.
Just because you're getting the ropes of all this.
At advantage. Alright. So 21 to hit.
That totally hits. And then if you want to right-click this card and I guess grab it back.
Okay,
Or...
yeah, I think
Mm-hmm. There
it's
you
gonna
go.
that's what I wanted to push on. So plus 3. That's on the page. 6 plus 6. So that's the normal damage, and then Zephyr Strike damage is an additional 7 force damage.
Nice.
And then for my second attack, well, does an 8 hit?
And 8 misses. A opportunity to use your card would be great here.
Yalla.
There you go.
Have you guys seen this card? It's pretty dope. Oh, does it 12 hit?
You could even technically use the first and third one, so you could re-roll and then get advantage on that roll.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Ooh.
Oh, 15. Does a 15 hit?
God damn.
15 just
Hey,
hits.
welcome to Kyle's rolls, everyone.
Yeah.
This isn't anything new.
And this will
Oh,
max
bastard.
out. Yep.
He's Bailey.
And then I lose 8 health.
What's the total damage you've delivered on this, guys? You swiftly
yeah.
zephyrally strike into him.
The last one. So 9 slashing, 12, 21 slash, and then where's the D8? 8 force.
So let's see, 29. Is that what I'm getting from that?
Yeah.
All right. You deliver just a series of swipes, cutting quite a few legs off of the creature and almost rending its head off of its elongated eel-like neck, cutting into it. Sprays of blood cover the area around you, but it's still barely shifting, almost toppling over, but still stands.
Then I'll use a key point then, and it has to make a con save.
All right.
DC 14, sorry.
Unnatural 20.
Damn it.
Fuck you,
What is it?
Jason.
Wait. Oh.
So I try to quivering palm it, but miss.
It just almost unintentionally stumbles out of the way as you throw a fist at open palm at it.
If we could roll like Jason, this encounter would be over hard.
I've
Then
been
I'll just
rolling
flavor
high.
it of
I've been
stumble
rolling
past.
high. All right. Anything else from Kemo?
Yeah, actually, I'll do the float like a butterfly and use my last bit of movement to get out of the range.
Okay. You shift, quickly moving behind the creature. The two up at the top.
Oh, look out, guys. I left some stuff up.
The one with the dreadlocks looks across over at the Neogi on the roofs. And you see it launch itself from here down onto the ground. It is going to attempt to swipe its claws into you, Nvidi.
Oh, Nvidi, I love you, buddy.
Does a 9 catch your AC?
Does not.
It swings with one set of claws missing, but comes down with a second set of claws for 21 versus AC.
Hit.
It slices into you for 5 slashing damage.
Got it.
It attempts to bite into you for 14 versus AC.
Equals.
Guys, our clothware is our tank.
Oh, goodness.
It bites into your hand, Nvidi, sinking its teeth in. You take 7 points of piercing damage. I also need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Come on, Nvidi.
I mean, do you need him to make it? You don't really need him to make it. He could
No, we
not.
don't need him at all.
I don't need anything. I want him to make it.
Unnatural 20.
You feel a stinging sensation almost running through your veins for just a moment, but you force the radiance of your patron through your limbs, seeing your palm light up, if just for a moment, still caught in the jaws of the wolf, but being able to fend off whatever this extra thing is as it digs its teeth into your hand. That is when the second one jumps down from the rooftop, clambering across the metal casing of whatever that cylindrical tube is, and attempting to rend into you with its claws for 17 versus AC.
It's
7 slashing
Are you
damage.
marking down your health, Indeed?
I still can't edit it, so I have it open on a calculator.
That is really weird because I have you set right up as your here. Let me try this. Can you edit it now?
Yay!
There we go. Sorry, they've added a whole bunch of new options with these bars, so.
It's exciting.
That's the correct HP right now.
The second roll wildly misses for 6 versus AC.
Yes.
Finally, it tries to rend its jaws, not rend, but tries to clamp down on you and then rend your flesh, but clearly misses with a 9 versus AC. You kind of almost throw your hand, smashing the one that is already biting you into the other one, and it kind of just barely misses. With that, those two are done. Glace.
Oh, I see Nvidi is in trouble, so I'll use Mantle of Inspiration, and every one of my friends that can hear me get 10 temporary HP and can move to me without occurring opportunity attacks. Their speed as a immediate reaction thing. And I will as a normal action, I think I'm gonna. Is this a person or a monster? These things now.
How's Kemo moving around like this? The fuck is happening?
Isn't
yeah,
that?
You were included in that.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I'm
I was just
sure.
counting
Sorry.
to see how
Okay, good.
much I cheated.
Glace. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, as far as I know, you count. I don't know you're charmed.
What's the text say?
The text, allies I can see who can see me within 60 feet gain temporary HP above, and can use.
Rinkaz is not currently considered an ally.
Oh, then he doesn't get any then. Yeah, there you go. Rinkaz doesn't benefit from it, so I will take it. if that is something I can do.
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry, Rink, traitor. Is this doggy boy a person or a monster now?
I'm not an animal.
For funsies, I'll say it's a monster.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. Well.
Well, what are you trying to do?
I wanted a dominate person, but if he's a monster, then fuck that. I don't want to do it.
I see the text here. It says medium humanoid. Let's go with that.
Okay.
It says shape changer, but it makes no mention that it becomes a monster afterwards.
Okay. Well. He doesn't count as a shape changer then.
He does count as a shape changer.
Oh.
If that affects it.
I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
That's only polymorph. Okay. He's going to make a wisdom saving throw. If he is, let's see. He has advantage if we're fighting it, but I'm going to use my inspiration and give him disadvantage, so he just has normal 1Z.
Okay.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
He rolls a 13.
Cool. This is the first time I'm using this, so bear with me. He's charmed and has a telepathic link with me. As long as the two of us are on the same plane, I can use this link to issue commands. Ooh, while I'm unconscious, no action required, which it does its best to obey. You can let's see, I can basically tell it to attack that creature or run over there or fetch an object. So I want to step in front of Nvidia here, excuse me, golden boy, look him in the eye, and tell him to get rid of this ugly nuisance right here.
Are you telling him to attack him?
Yeah.
Alright. He turns, baring his fangs and claws. The Vodani underneath looking a bit confused. Now, does he still move on his turn, I'm assuming?
Let's see.
I would assume that it would just activate on his turn, that he listens to your orders.
Until the end of my next turn, the creature takes only the actions you choose and doesn't do anything that you don't allow it to do. During this time, you can also cause the creature to use its reaction, but I have to use my action for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So it is poised.
You can issue telepathic links to obey you with no action required.
Yeah.
So it is poised to attack the one next to it, but it has to wait until its turn to do this. But it is no longer focusing on you guys.
Okay.
Each time it takes damage, it makes a new wisdom saving throw against the spell, so nobody heard it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Glace?
No, I'm done.
It is the Neogi's turn. Subject 22.
Come to me, morsels!
You feel something in your mind pervading your thoughts.
Hunger.
Something more than that. Please make me a wisdom saving throw.
That is going to be a 12.
Oh.
You feel a sensation shifting through your bloodthirsty mind. You hear a cacophony of chatter and alien-sounding words that seem to be coming from the Neogi, but almost as if they're inside of your mind. It shifts, and you'll hear, "Attack the ape!"
Oh.
Attack the what?
The ape.
Oh, gladly.
You have that silver.
This one up top that Kemo nearly rendered asunder begins to try and just shift away into the darkness of the rooftops above.
Am I considered dominated, basically?
You are considered dominated. Actually, you are considered, I believe it is charmed. Magically charmed.
Okay.
Keeps attacking Sun Kong while not charmed.
This one shifts back here, and this one shifts over here, making it difficult to see them. You guys will get disadvantage on ranged attacks. They are done. With that, Rinkaz, you are up. You see a number of enemies surrounding you. But definitely a bloody one ahead of you as the Vodani.
Which one mind controlled me? Or charmed me?
You're not really sure.
No, oh, okay. I was curious as a player. I didn't know.
I can tell you as a player, this one did.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was trying to make sure that was the right target that did before. I didn't know if it meant because the other one left, if I was that one up there, if I was controlled or not. Yeah, this guy in front of me is going. As free action, I switched to Big Deborah.
You guys see Rinkaz shift his pistol down and pull out a very large-looking double-barreled weapon. You can see from this distance, Kemo, that it has a angry-looking, scary face on the front of it, sort of carved into the steel.
I'm going to charge up a violent shot on that as well. He is adjacent to me. I only shoot at 5 anyways, but I have advantage on this attack. If it hits, I get 1 extra damage dice.
Alright.
Does a 29 hit?
That hits.
He takes 17.
What's it look like when you do 17 points of damage to the creature that had 3 left?
Blood crazed, I would probably grab him by the scruff and point it as close to his head as possible in the goriest manner possible, yelling, "Stop biting me!"
He growls one more time with a ferocious foam-covered mouth before the loud sound of a shotgun blast rings out and a rain of blood spatters around the area near each of you.
Yes!
I get a grit point back. But I have another attack still.
You do. There are 2 targets right next to you.
And be as fair as possible. In Blood Rage, I would see anything to either, because neither have attacked me. So I'm gonna roll a d4, and 1 and 2 is Kemo, 3 and 4 is Sun. I'm so sorry, my new ally.
Hell yeah. Sorry, buddy.
So sorry.
Kemo!
Wow.
This is where
Kemo, welcome to Jackass.
I'm about to shoot our new ally in the face with a shotgun!
Yeah, I wish I had the Jackass music loaded in here.
I'm Steve-O! I'm gonna shoot this guy in the face!
Alright.
With a real shotgun!
With a real shotgun!
No, not for damage, sorry. Second part of it, because it's advantage when it's next to somebody. Oh my god.
Oh no!
I called it. I called it. I knew it.
Kyle, I'm real sorry about this,
Jesus.
man.
Where did our characters go? Somebody press Control-Z. Whoever deleted something. Thank you.
What the fuck
Deleted
is
myself.
going on?
So it's 3d4 plus 8.
Kemo Rinkaz, go ahead and roll your damage. Kemo, please roll me a 1d10, please.
Do I get a card by chance?
You do.
Technically do.
This is
my
Because it's a fuck face.
This is not a good
Oh, I get
start.
grit point back for that.
Oh
As
my
well.
god.
Alright, here's the first 3d4. Plus 8. So that's 19. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
And here's the other d4.
Good thing you got that temporary HP.
Kemo, you rolled a
Christ.
2, and thus, as you are blasted with this shotgun, you take a torso injury. You have disadvantage on strength checks and saves. There are ways to heal this injury, but this is a little more long-lasting than just losing a little HP and healing it at the end of a battle. Depending on.
Can we do some kind of check now to see if Rinkaz is charmed or magically affected?
Yeah, you guys watch as Rinkaz,
Great.
after blasting apart the Vodani in front of him, turns and just without flinching, just unloads into Kemo.
Misclick.
As Glace, I would just assume that he's affected somehow, but my Arcana check is a 7.
You don't pick up anything necessarily. However, you could also make an insight,
than-
or anyone else can make an insight check.
Okay.
Now,
My insight is 18.
18 total.
Mhm.
It was almost apparent even before the check, but it just seems as though the body language of Rinkaz, he just seems more mindless than he typically is. Almost, you've seen him bloodthirsty and chaotic before, almost uncaringly so now, as he just turns firing on who you assume to be an ally.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember Kemo doing anything underhandedly so far in your group.
Rinkaz ain't that bloodthirsty.
Anything else, Rinkaz?
After doing the math on the temporary HP, I'm only down 8. I haven't modified that, so I would not use second wind. I have nothing else I can do. I just
Okay.
yell and growl and say, kill the ball. Because that seems like what he would say after being surrounded.
Oh god, can I ask you why?
Unfortunately, because something happened to the tokens that really fucked up our initiative.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Hold
It
on,
was
hold on.
Kemo, Big Daddy, Monster, Glace, and...
Okay, hang on. Let me add these back, and if you guys could help me try to remember.
I was last. Aesop was before me.
You can just punch your numbers in according to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's. Don't forget Aesop.
Yeah, I'm punching everybody back in here that I think is missing.
Just the little dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
these
we're
guys.
not too bad.
It's because I turned this guy invisible. We'll put him on here, but this guy up top has hauled ass. He's not there, but I'm just keeping him there for purposes of of initiative. So I'll just mark him as X, but he ran off. Alright. Have you guys punched in where you think you were before?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Thank you very much. So that was Rinkaz. Aesop.
I think little Jiro was before me.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
Technically, make him like 15.5.
He was between me and Rinkaz.
In VD, what does Jiro do, seeing some chaos break out in the group?
Gonna fly to the rooftop.
Yeah, maybe pretty safe up there with Subject 21.
Yeah.
22, Jason?
Subject 22, sorry.
We haven't met Subject 21 yet.
No, you're right,
Jason.
you're right.
Put that on us.
So when he's flying, does it still have to climb?
You have to fly you're levitating. You have to ascend about 15 spaces to go from down to the bottom up to the top.
Okay, that would be 60 then total, so that's what I get.
Okay.
Can Jira see that guy?
Jira could, yes, just over the crest of the top of the house here.
Okay. That's all. Yeah.
All right. With that, it was Aesop's turn, or Subject 22's rather.
You dare belittle tiny bird! I will kill you, monkey! And I dive bomb off the roof and attack Suncon.
I mean, you had this coming, honey.
So this is midair, and I'm gonna fly, I think, like over Sun Kong. And I have to make 2 claw attacks. Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
You're my friend.
That's
25 to hit.
How much?
25.
Oh.
Gonna be 12 slashing and 4 fire. And I'm gonna slash you again. 23 to hit. Hey, but minimum damage. That's 8 slashing and 1 fire, so 9 total.
You guys watch as strangely 2 of your own party, chaotic in their own rights, but seemingly more so all of a sudden, have turned to combat the folks of your own party.
This is unfortunate. I think everyone gets what's happening, right? Like everyone realizes that we were mind controlled. Okay.
It's a matter of time.
And anyway, I continue flying over Sun Kong. I guess he can make an attack of opportunity against me if he wants.
I also want to activate my tattoo.
Your what?
My tattoo?
Oh.
Okay.
I reduce bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage by 1d8.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey!
Oh, nice. Holy shit. Now, Jason, I can attack a 3rd time as a bonus action. Do I have to do that?
You see a lot of tasty morsels down here, but I will not take your character agency away from you. If he wouldn't do it normally to a normal enemy, then he doesn't have to do it here.
But what if he would do it to a normal enemy?
Then roll away, my friend.
Okay.
Roll away.
It's a 19 to hit.
Jeez.
And
Subject 22's beefy boy. I don't usually bring him out very much, but I'm sorry, Sun Kong. That's gonna be 12 more slashing and 2 more fire.
Activate my tattoo. It doesn't say there's a limit on it.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a pretty pricey tattoo, as far as I'm aware. So.
Oh, that's good. Aesop feels terrible watching through the eyes of Subject 22 as he rips into Sun Kong.
Aesop's inside, like, I didn't really want to kill him.
Face me, monkey! Face me! I will rip your insides outsides!
Subject 22, this monkey is pretty resilient to your attacks, but that must make all the meat inside that much tastier once you break in.
When you hit that choo-choo!
With that, Sun Kong, as you watch Subject 22 dive bomb off of the roof, turning to see it coming at you and quickly trying to negate some of the damage with your tattoo on your neck, but still kind of being cut across with flaming claws. What do you do?
Alright, buddy. You told me to do this, remember.
Aesop did tell you to do it.
All my damage is going to be non-lethal.
Okay.
I'm so fucking dead.
Non-lethal.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a hit.
Alright,
Normally, disco.
Stunning Fist, 15 con save.
Oh, okay. Guess I can't choose to fail it, huh? My con save sucks anyway.
Alright, cool, you're stunned. Good.
Well, you have to deal damage too, right?
Oh yeah, I know, I still do.
Okay.
So this is gonna be
How high in the air
13
were you?
damage, and it's silver.
Oh, I was only like 5 feet above
Like
the
hovering.
ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Alright,
you
I
feel
take-
your muscles and limbs tense up, Subject 22, as you kind of catch yourself as your body sort of freezes up as you feel stunned against the ground.
So I take 26 damage, and I fall to the ground.
You're stunned until the beginning of my next turn.
Well, that's pretty great. Do I get another save, Jason, for getting hit? Does it work like the same other charm? The Dominate?
Actually, let me check. No, you don't.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I'm stunned.
This is
GG's.
called Enslave.
Ooh. Alright, well, I figure since it's my maneuver, I know that I stunned you, so I'm not gonna take my bonus attack on you.
Yeah,
You
sure.
yeah, you can see him sort of
Yeah.
like you see his muscles tense up as if he's trying to pull free from your stun but can't.
So I look at you, I'm like, sorry buddy, we'll help you in a second though.
Kill you! Kill you!
Oh no.
The fuck is going on here?
Actually, I wouldn't be able to move through his space, so hold on.
Yeah, that means you only
So-
get 400 move.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah,
40
really.
to go around him.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same because he'd just be going here and then here. He's
Yeah.
stunned, so he can't hit you.
Oh, true, yeah, I didn't think of that. So
You
okay,
throw a
That's
monkey
nothing.
tail up and quickly volley yourself up to the roof and crawl over to see a surprised-looking Neogi. You guys know enough now from the descriptions from the past that these are Neogi.
it's funny, even with climbing up the wall, I still have another 25 feet of movement if I needed it.
Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
You are the Flash.
16 to hit?
That hits.
Hey,
Fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna use a key point to get flurry of blows. 14 damage?
What's it look like when you kill this?
Hell yeah. I just like chop through him with my hand, like horizontally. I like chop him in half.
He crumples over, falling off of the roof as he kind of rolls down onto the base. As you do this, Rinkaz, you look up and notice that your new ally, Kemo, you have just blasted into his chest.
You're pointing Big Temper at him. Wake up.
My bloody chest.
Uh,
I look at him
I
and I
move-
say, "Oh dear God."
I move over to the other one. I still got my 2 bonus hits.
This one, seeing the onslaught you brought to the other one, is trying to shift back as quickly as it can.
14 to hit.
That just misses.
28 to hit.
That's gonna hit.
That's a tasty meatball.
13 damage.
You strike into it hard and cripple some of its mini spider-like appendages, but it stands, but just barely. It coughs up blood.
Ugh, lucky. Alright, that's all my hits.
All right, rolls back up to the top, and VD.
ooh, decisions. Alright, so Dreadlocks is charmed.
It looks as though he has turned on his friend, and Glossy's kind of stepped up with a commanding look in her eye.
Okay. One question.
Sure.
Is being up on the roof for this guy Does it count as cover?
Which one?
The one next to Sun Kong.
From where you're standing?
From where I'm standing, does it count as cover?
It counts as is there tiers of cover in 5e?
Yeah, there's
partial and
partial, half, and 3/4.
So at this distance, because of the elevation of the roofing here, he has 3/4 cover. Just because he's so far back at the housing at this point.
Okay, so I have the one. I can only cast touch through Good Boy Jira.
That's correct.
Glace, but thank you. That's yeah.
Through your dog.
He is a dog. He's a good dog. The one time I get to do this, I would like to cast Sacred Flame.
Yes.
On that guy.
Yes.
He will not benefit from any cover and must make a DC 18 deck.
Oh, sick. Good use of Sacred Flame.
Dex saving throw. Nasty little critters here that can scamper around, but let's see. Rolls a 12.
Will be sizzled for 14 radiant damage.
Nice.
What does it look like? As how does this bolt find its way up the housing to hit the creature and kill it?
Sacred Flame comes down from the sky.
Ooh.
On top of the target.
Piercing through the thick green fog and smoke in the air through the fog cloud is a searing bolt, almost coming from the open scar itself, that just nails into the Neogi next to you, Sun Kong. As this happens, Subject 22, you notice there's still some tasty morsels around, but the one that you were just attacking is one that you typically try not to kill. Most times.
Still want monkey flesh.
Nothing changes for him.
It doesn't matter, I'm stunned on my next turn anyway.
Alright. Good job, Nvidia. Anything else?
As a bonus action, I want to look over at Kemo and tell him to close his eyes. And I want to cast some healing dice at him.
Okay.
Which one is that one? Healing Light. For 17 HP.
Nice.
A bright, radiant light shifting from above covers you. Nvidia, there's a certain strange sensation of warmth, and you see the blast that just was punctured straight into your abdomen from this large double-barreled weapon that Rinkaz held. The wound begins to shift and close up some.
A wound.
And I'll actually end my turn on that point.
Alright, with that, Kemo, you're up.
You guys are fucking weird.
So wild.
Gonna make a big show of coming over here and making this guy in a hood. 6.
Oh, that hits.
Alright. I'm just gonna keep doing my attacks here. 20.
You can tell him if you want to.
No, it's okay.
But no, well, I mean, I would say, like, if I see him going for that target.
Okay.
Oh no, there's only 2 left.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he's dominated or by Glace if you don't want to hit him.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot about that.
That's
I mean,
fine.
I would yell out to him. I would.
That's fine.
You should put icons.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Put the heart one on him. I want the heart one. He's dominated by me. He loves me. Yeah, there we go.
You said this is 10 foot tall?
Yeah, it's like 10 feet up.
Alright.
Kind of do like a front flip kick in the air, and your feet catch on top and you shift over.
Yeah, so from up here, do you want me to reroll these, or 22 to hit, 17 to hit?
I'll let you keep them.
And
He's only being nice because it's your first full session.
I just merged all those damage dice. It looks nastier than it is. So 20, and then I'm going to use a key point to flurry and blow.
All right, you bring your
now
blades
what is
down
flurry of
into
blows?
him.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
How exactly does that work?
Hold on, I have my app open. It says the person with the monk sheet in front of them makes up a number of dice. In which case they're loaded and they roll the maximum number of damage or minus. Oh, you get up and get a drink while they add it all together.
Hey guys, Aesop uses flurry of blows.
Oops.
It says it right here on the app.
Fucked up the roll, but so one of those is an 8 to hit, 22 to hit.
The next one kind of quickly like lowers his back and it catches against the metal tubing of the rectangular object below you, but that 22 hits.
And 9 is the right damage roll.
All right, you slice into him hard. He growls back at you. He seems pretty cut up at this point.
Yeah, it's 29 all day. Sweet. That's all I got.
Glace, you watch as the one standing next to you, as it is trying to dodge Kemo's assault from on top of the metal cylindrical object, grips his two shoulders, his comrade, as you're assuming, shoulders, and just chomps down into his neck and just pulls the flesh out of his neck, and you see blood just spurt out.
God damn.
As it falls over dead.
Good job.
Begins chewing on it. And it looks back at you.
I'll tell him to sit down.
He sits.
Good boy.
And as he sits, it appears as though you guys have taken care of what was left of the enemies around here.
Monkey, moving up priority list of things to murder, eat.
No, bad. No monkey. No kill monkey.
I'm gonna make a bloodlust roll. I failed. I'm
staying on the roof until he looks better.
What? When does he get to make another save, Sun Kong?
Well, he would be. He's just stunned for one turn.
So luckily, the check I failed, I was stunned.
So now he gets another. Yeah.
Now I'll do my. Okay, you see, subject 22 kind of shrink. No, I didn't even get the monkey. As I shrink back into Aesop.
Okay.
Oh, ow, 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 ow. What is this? There's a burn on my face. What is this? There's a very quarterstaff shaped burn mark on his face.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh no, did I?
It wasn't actually your fault this time.
Oh, good. I don't feel so bad then.
Oh, you should have seen what Rinkas did to Kemo.
Yeah, Rinko kinda... Hey, Kemo, you're alright, buddy. Sorry about that. So, you see, thing is... We may not be exactly who we said we were.
Yes. In case you couldn't put 2 and 2 together, I'm not a slave. And again, I hope I'm not the special Kenku that you're looking for.
Aesop, while it's still warm, get the lycanthrope blood. Save it.
Oh, good idea.
I start taking vials of blood, whatever I can.
Oh, someone get those sashes off the Nyogi. We need those.
Oh, can Jira do it?
Yes, Jira could rifle through him. Make a like a perception check for Jira to kind of rifle through and see if there's any personal belongings on the Nyogi.
Jira gets +3 on perception.
Also, I am totally fine if you guys can't do it, but as long as most everyone can, did you guys want to go to like 12:30 since we'll be skipping the next 2 sessions?
I'm fucking good to go, buddy.
As long as everyone's down for it. All right. Sounds
You
good.
rolled a 10 on perception.
Jira doesn't find anything on the one to the south of it, but the one that it is kind of rifling through, there is 2 small pouches on its corpse that Jira is able to kind of use his claws to rend free and kind of grab by the purse strings and bring back with him.
Who wants to keep track of Dark Trine? What, heirlooms, I guess?
I'll do it.
Assassination attempts?
So we have 2 Anogi sash. I can't say it.
Sashes?
Thank you.
Sachet?
Sachet. Okay, Anogi.
Oh, there's a werewolf still alive. Is that a problem?
Glace is petting him.
Glace and Aesop, you guys, as you're petting him, Glace, you look down and see, now that you are out of battle and able to kind of focus a little more on the details of the creatures, you notice that this one has long dreadlocks and kind of is a bit separated from the others, slightly taller, and he also has almost neon greenish claws that look to be painted that color.
Oh. Okay.
Jason, is it the same color as the teardrops that signify families?
Well, the teardrops are just burned into the leather, so there's no real color to them.
But
I
thought they were green.
No, they're like, it's just the sort of the burnt indentation of tear marks into the leather that kind of signifies you guys as having identification here. I will say though that seeing these nails, it does remind you of the rewards for the patrollers.
Oh, were we supposed to get claws from them?
Brightly colored claws signifies Vodani of a higher order. That if brought into the patrollers brings in a higher potential discounts on various things.
Hey, Winkaz, you think you got an old yellow in you?
Oh no!
Since this thing is dominated, how dominated is dominated?
As you are petting him, he is still sort of chewing and finishing off the piece of neck flesh in his mouth. He is looking over longingly as if he's going to just continue eating off of the dead Vodani next to him.
It only lasts a minute. We should hurry up and kill him.
Right, my question is, if I ask him to, like, kill himself, is that not part of the spell? Like, is that too much?
I think so. Well, do you have are you able to look at the text of the spell?
It says,
It doesn't say anything about like not inflicting bodily harm, but it does say whenever it takes damage, it gets to make another save.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't finish himself off with one go, he'll get another save. But man, if he fails that save, that is gruesome.
Right? Well, we could pull an old yellow.
You need a killer.
I mean, to be fair, once we take in hostile action, it's going to start combat back up, and we're going to have to finish it.
Well,
it's like
we do need someone to finish it off there, Kemo.
Everybody make a perception check.
Based on sight?
Based on sound, this one.
Damn it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not bad.
Big old 8.
17.
15 and up.
God damn!
No, we rolled the same. Doesn't count.
15 and up, you guys hear the clinking sound of... they're not on top of you yet, but you do hear the clinking sound of tollers in the distance. In Vita, you can tell that they are approaching your way.
End him. Somebody with silver, end him.
Send him after the patrollers.
Oh, you're such a good boy. Go get those nasty tollers.
Oh, he's so good.
I guess we're not getting his claws then.
Oh,
it's fine. It's fine. Just send him. It's less
okay.
You watch as he bounds off into the alleyway up north.
So, who exactly are you people?
We can say that as we're leaving. I'm
Yeah,
so
let's-
sorry. I have medicine for you. I'm so sorry for the hole in your chest. Please, let's go.
You hear the sound of a rending of claws against what sound like brass or metal, and you hear the sound of a bell ringing.
That's okay.
Lead
Let's
the way,
run.
Kemo. We will explain. We promise to explain everything.
I'll
We need to
start.
get off the
Yeah.
street.
Yes, we need to go. Let's
You
take us to the
hear
Baron.
Please lead the
a
way.
sizzling sound coming from within the cylindrical container underneath you, Kemo.
Oh! Aesop scoots away from Kemo.
What is this thing? What's going on here?
There is what appears to be, like I mentioned at the forefront of the battle, like an indentation of what looks like a potential sort of sliding or opening slit or door at the front. It opens. Steam and vapor pour out. And stepping out is a large...
I point that way. I point the way that the
dark,
werewolf went.
black covered, what looks to be construct that stands 10 to 12 feet tall. There is line work that runs through it that seems to be highlighted with a yellowish green. You hear the sizzling acidic sound of something coming from within. You see what looks to be a very simple like hand with small digits on one arm, and on the other it just seems to end in an opening that gives you the idea of almost like a large cannon. It just pushes past you all as it shifts, moving towards the area where the Bodani went before.
We really need to get off the street. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, let's get out.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, Kemo's already on his way.
Alright, I follow Kemo closely.
Kemo, you have been here at least for a number of days long enough, although you've never seen one in person. Zermo and other folks during your time here have explained to you that that was a night of acid.
And they are.
Alright, so
Is
here's
that all
the
the-
deal.
Okay.
Here's the deal, right? I need to acquire at least one Kenku, probably from the Baron. Hi, my name's Aesop, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you. I can talk, in case you hadn't gathered as much. So, I need to be with the Baron. He has a Kenku I need to acquire from him. What is that? What the fuck is that?
You hear sounds of howling and roaring coming from the distance, and a sizzling sound.
Ooh, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, are we still walking, or?
Yeah, we're walking. I assume we're walking as we're talking. We're walking and talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you guys would please do me the favor of remembering your HP, I'm going to bring us to the other map, and instead of trying to grab all the tokens, you can just remember your current HP. Has everyone got it in mind?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to shift you back, and if you'll just kind of punch that in, that would really save me some time.
I forgot. Sorry.
Fucker.
So yes, I need to acquire a Kenku that's probably in the ownership of the Baron. In addition, my wife, or ex-wife, I guess I should say at this point, whom I thought was dead, may be a giant lycanthrope in town that is currently murdering people. And I would like to gather clues, because the Baron, as I'm sure you know, recently had a death in the family, and that is why we're here. We're the Wyld Tycoons, by the way. Hello.
We're not slavers at all.
And other than Aesop, you know our names. We weren't lying about that.
Oh, I was absolutely lying about my name. My name
I
is
forgot what you called
Glace
yourself.
Relica. My name is Glace Lore.
This is,
A lot of information.
to say the least. Let's just get indoors.
Right. It should be
Agreed.
noted that we mean your employer no harm deception check.
Nice.
Me too.
Make a opposed insight check, Kemo.
No, I'll fail that. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I just want to acquire this Kenku She's very dear to me, and if I can, we'd like to track down and stop this other Kenku, which may or may not be my wife. So we need 2 Kenkus, really.
Kemo lets out a heavy sigh. This is gonna cost me a paycheck. Let's go.
Well,
We can talk about that later.
Honestly, actually. Don't pay attention to that. He's getting out of here.
That was awesome.
You guys are continuing down the streets.
So, this transformation.
It's my research, or that's not fair to say. It's the research that my wife and I built upon other research with lycanthropy. An attempt to reverse the debilitating curse that all Kenku have that limits our speech and creativity.
I haven't decided how smart he is, so I'm just gonna do an intelligence roll to decide if I can make this connection or not.
Yeah, he rattles a couple $5 words past you.
Oh my god.
Got it. You bang a bunch of colory liquids together.
I study blood, yes.
I understand that even less than before.
I'll try to break it down to smaller words for you.
He's a scientist. Things went bad.
Me do science things. Sorry about.
I do murdery things.
Oh, well, you're going to get along very well with the guy that's
I don't say that. I don't say that.
We can do that if we have to.
That's what my other friend that you saw is for. He is a unfortunate side effect of my research.
Well,
that chunk is pretty scary.
This is going to come out of that bad roll that I'm going to data dump you here to get my notes up. So, turns out Baron Lezrin, is that how we say this?
You've heard that to be his name, yes, Baron Lezrin.
Baron Lezrin is looking for something. Kenku. They think that it's behind all these disappearances.
Oh.
He said that there were complications, and after seeing what you just did, I'm thinking that may be the kind of complication he's talking about.
Oh dear.
I think we may be after the same person. I'm after
be...
Subject 21.
Yes. That would be Melody, my wife. This could be very good or very bad. She was a very dedicated person. If she is still as dedicated as we were, she is taking those Kenkus for nefarious ends.
Oh.
However, she may have had a change of heart, like me. Either way, I'd like to take her in alive if possible. I have some tranquilizer darts for just such the occasion.
I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Kemo sighs heavily.
Oh.
Zermo said that the Baron has some information on her. See, I found her spelljammer. I searched it. They've impounded it. They found something there. That's what he's bringing us on.
What did they find?
Don't know.
Oh. Well, you know this family better than we do. Would you recommend keeping up the charade of me being a slave, or should we just come clean with the Baron?
Oh, but if we come clean, I mean, do you think he'd be willing to take us all as slaves like those other ones?
It's true. I don't think we could stand up to the entirety of that family.
Well, I think we should go. Listen to see what he has to say.
For now, I'll continue pretending to be Stitches.
And I will have a sudden change of heart of wanting to give you away.
Kemo looks at Rinkaz and Sun Kong and says, "We need to be on our guard in there."
Oh.
Oh, they're good at that.
I begin reloading my weapons.
Before we head in, just in case, does anyone have any way to patch up this horrible burn mark on my face? I don't know where this came from, but it really smarts.
Kemo coughs up some blood.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Oh.
I do.
So me, Sun Kong, and Kemo are all at 75%.
Yeah. Do we need healing or do we need a short rest?
Do we have time for a short rest?
We're
being chased, aren't we?
Yeah.
No, we should get to the place.
I think this is a classic we need healing scenario.
Okay. So who wants some?
Good thing we stopped for food on the way.
Yeah.
You guys hadn't ate in a while, so it was actually a decent
Aesop's
idea that Kemo had.
stomach growls.
That's not gonna help.
Seeing as how Subject 22 didn't get to fill it with Nyogi meat. I was gonna crack those things like a steamed lobster.
I can give one person a greater drops of healing, and I can use the last bit of my bonus heal on somebody else.
Well,
I've
you know
got
what?
some drops.
Better late than never. I just down a greater potion of healing on myself.
I have.
I'm gonna use a potion also. Sorry.
I'll
I don't have
hand.
any inventory.
I will hand Kemo a potion of greater healing.
I made that.
That's 2d4 plus 4.
Oh, is it greater or just regular?
Oh, greater. I have 2 graters.
Is it greater potion or greater drops?
Greater potion.
Yeah, that's 44 plus 4.
Take 4d4 plus 4, my friend.
I made that. The secret ingredient is my own blood.
Could have lived without knowing that.
Flashbacks of Aesop feeding his blood to
Oh
me.
yeah. But it cured you, didn't it?
I don't want to talk about it.
There's a certain copper taste. It is a mix between like a gel-like texture and a liquid, but it slides down the throat easily enough, and soon after you see the rest of the pock marks where the shrapnel of the shotgun blast hits you in your abdomen. Kemo begins to slowly shift, and you have the sensation that it will heal pretty quickly.
Just pretend it's yogurt.
Made of my blood.
I've had better things. I've had better. But it works pretty quick.
With this, though, your torso is still deeply bruised from your injury. However, hang on just a minute here. There may be a rule in here for magical healing, I believe. Let's take a look.
Yeah, just a heal over a certain amount, I think you said, allows it to go away, and you don't get the healing.
Let's see here. When your hit points would be restored by magical healing, you can choose that the healing instead either removes 1 injury level for each die of healing you would have received, or 1 injury level for each 10 hit points of healing you would have received.
Okay. It's all or nothing.
Also, a healer's kit with a medicine check can potentially heal injuries.
Y'all need to buy me some healer's kits. I'm trying medicine.
I have 2 of them.
Sounds like you need to buy you some healer's kits.
No, I'm good, thanks.
When I have money again, I will buy you all the healer's kits that you want.
How much money do you owe me again?
1,500. Wait, nope. I owe you 500 and Nvidia 1,044.
1,500 it is.
Oh no! I'm still in debt.
Ugh, don't make it weird.
It's not weird. It's fun. I've never been poor before.
I'm assuming a healing potion is considered magical, right? I mean, that's like...
I guess.
Let's see. Hang on just a second. This looks like it's linking to someone who knows what they're talking about's Twitter. Let me just see who it is. Oh, sorry, that page doesn't exist.
My name is Lambalam42.
I think he's looking up if
I will rule that it is magical healing if it helps to cure an injury if you so choose, and we'll find out the ruling for that later on.
Yeah. So it was at least 10 HP?
A die of healing that you could have received, or 10 hit points. You can not heal that and instead heal off an injury.
Yeah, I do that.
You take a couple minutes to sort of bandage your abdomen, Kemo, and after downing this potion, some of the wounds from the blast don't heal, but you do feel the sensation, the soreness from the injury begin to slowly fade.
Well, it does hit hard.
At least we're all in one piece.
And Nvidia, did you want to do any healing to try and heal off your head wound?
I can.
10 points of magical healing would rid you of it.
Okay. Has to be 10. What's the greater drops of healing roll?
44 plus. Greater drops. Whatever.
Drops is 2d4 plus 2.
2d4
Greater
plus
drops
2.
2d4 plus.
Kind of feel like that'd be wasted if I miss it.
And drops. A good rule of thumb: drops is always like one level down from potions, but you can use them as a bonus act.
Yeah, I'm not missing. Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
2d4 plus 4.
It's a max roll on that to get 10.
That's work.
Close.
Close.
43. You feel invigorated, but you still feel the sort of panging pain in your head and beating. Perhaps after taking some time with a long rest, you could heal it off. You soon, guys, find yourselves at the front gates of Kemo, what you have been explained to be Baron Lesrin's estate. This one looks somewhat gothic in style as the other buildings here, but slightly more stylish and wealthy looking. The premise here, similar to the Scuzziotelli house, but even more grounds here are dedicated to the Baron's place. A large black iron sort of fencing made of iron bars surrounds the premises, and you see standing at the gates 2 tollers, Kemo, as you kind of lead the group up to the front gates.
Do they say anything?
They stand at attention. You can see through the glass and between the greenish fog or smoke that covers within, kind of covering their faces, that they do kind of look to notice you, but they don't really say anything.
All right, so we'll walk up and then look at one of them. Everything is toxic. It just depends on the dose.
Ooh.
Hearing this, they both at the same time turn and grab the bars of the iron gates and pull the 2 iron gate fence open, allowing you guys to follow the pavel that leads up to the Baron's palace.
Everything is toxic. It just depends on the dose.
Right? What an awesome password.
Oh,
No, I
he mimicked you perfectly. God.
just said that in character.
Oh.
But yes, also true.
I've been waiting for that line, so good.
As you step in through the gates, Kemo and the rest of you, you can see a number of, not a ton, but at least sort of having an eye on each section of the estate grounds. A toller sort of just, kind of marching at attention, keeping an eye around, making sure everything is up to speed. They do take notice of you, but seeing that the gates were opened by the tollers up front, they don't rush to try and catch you or anything. They just continue their rounds as you assume that they're moving around and just surveilling the area. You step up to 2 large black iron doors that are the entrance of the estate.
Do you think we knock or just, go in?
I mean, you know this place
I mean-
better than we do.
Yeah, of course I do. And I start knocking.
You give it a knock. The reverberation of sound echoes off the large iron door. Within a few simple moments, the 2 doors are pulled open by 2 tollers. You guys are welcomed into a relatively nice looking marble floor and area here that opens up as you step inside. This opening room here opens up into a kind of lavish interior. There's a marble floor. There seems to be a large open area that houses what looks to be a dining table. Off to the far right at the further end, you can kind of see what looks to be a study. There's a nice fireplace at the far end as well, with what looks to be some type of animal pelt that kind of makes up a rug on the ground. There are antler-like chandeliers up above made out of what look to be skeletal pieces or horns, and kind of coming through, giving ambient light above the fireplace. What would be sort of like 2 or so stories up is large vertical glass panes that allow the greenish light to light up in here. You guys also notice that dotted in 4 or so spots around here, standing at attention, though not lit up with that same greenish interior that lit the one up that came out of the black cylindrical case, are these tall looking black constructs. These not standing in any sort of casing, they're just standing at attention, almost lifeless. In the distance, as you guys peer around, you see at the far end, standing close to the fireplace, is a toller, and sitting at the end of the table that has enough chairs for all of you, you see a figure who looks up as he is wiping his mouth with some of the cloth at the table. Oh, come in. I've been expecting you all.
Jason, is he fucking Candy from Django Unchained?
Shh.
Mizio can.
I'm blowing shit up, man. Come on.
This is amazing. I love it. I'm into it, man.
Yeah.
I believe you have already had the pleasure of knowing my name. I'm Baron Lezerin. I got word that you are headed this way. I believe, Kemo, you were the one that escorted them here. Am I right?
That's right.
Very good. And a good man who escorts the people that does business with the Scuzziotellis as well as my own personal affairs is paid handsomely. Please, please, he says, kind of waving a hand at the seats. I'll bring a bit of food up to you if you need it. Kemo, you're a friend of the Scuzziotellis. Why don't you have a seat next to me? The rest of you, please, sitting where you please at the table here. Let's talk business, I believe.
I stand next to wherever Rinkaz sits.
Do each of you take a seat? Besides Aesop?
I'll stand at the end next to Aesop. Just guard duty, you know.
Yeah.
I will stand behind Glace's chair. Off to the
So 3 of us, so half of us sit down.
The Baron looks at those of you standing and says, come on, don't make this awkward. Please, let's talk.
I look to Glace in approval to see if it...
sit down, don't be silly.
I nod to her and I say, my apologies, thank you, sir, and I take a seat.
I'll sit down as well.
I'll stand next to Rinkaz still.
He stares and looks to Glace. Are you still holding the chains of Aesop or Stitches?
Oh, I thought Rinkaz was. I'm
oh,
standing
Rinkaz. Okay.
Whomever has the chains. I'll put it that way.
He looks over at you, Rinkaz. Is this your slave?
Yes, it is. And I gesture over to Glace. Hers. We're her, bodyguards, so to speak.
Well, perhaps it doesn't understand common. If you would please have it sit, please.
Oh, you may sit, Stitches.
Oh, Stitches, sorry.
Even slaves at times are welcome at my table here.
And Aesop will sit next to whoever has an seat.
Sure. There's enough seats for everyone. Kemo, do you kind of take a seat next to the one that he's pulled out for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask him.
There is a toller that steps over with a platter in hand and begins to dole out wooden mugs filled with water.
You said you welcome slaves at your table?
When negotiations are ripe for such things, sure.
Oh.
I believe you had some business to talk about a particular slave, he says, waving his hand at Stitches. Is that the business you've come here for? He kind of continues cutting into what you guys see as what looks like a cooked fish, like a fried fish.
I as a player, forgot.
Oh yeah. So we had a plan last week. We were gonna come here and sort of parade Aesop around because he proved himself with the poisoning skills, but also because he has the special eyes that could perhaps suss out, if like something happened at a murder scene, he could figure out what happened there with his special eyes.
Okay.
This one's actually demonstration. It's been pretty impressive.
Kemo to the rescue! Yes. We can show you.
Oh, is he now?
Mm-hmm. He's our finest. Showbird.
Do I have food in front of me?
They have there's a toller that sort of clangs around and has handed out mugs of water. He looks to each of you. Were you hungry? Could I get you a bite to eat?
Oh, I must watch my figure.
I don't want to eat anything this guy gives.
I'll take some food.
Of course.
Very well, he says, waving his hand, kind of twirling it over at the toller, who begins to shift back behind like one of those swinging sort of like saloon doors into what you believe to be sort of like a kitchen-like area, or what leads to a kitchen-like area. Now, we'll get you some refreshments. In the meantime, tell me about this slave of yours. Where did you, perchance, get him from?
Well, we picked him up, and when we picked him up, he was just this feeble, useless, a really pitiful sight of a Kenku.
Where did this Kenku happen to be from exactly?
Where was
Pitiful
he?
sight.
Voodoo.
Oh, yes, Voodoo.
Oh, yes, certainly a prominent place where a large portion of the Kenku tend to settle, at least so I've heard.
Aesop is specifically not making eye contact with him. He's like looking into his cup.
I will look straight into his eyes at all times while I'm talking.
So you picked up this rather frail, weak-looking Kenku and... well, it doesn't look exactly muscular or put on a lot of weight since then.
Oh no. He's not the fighting sort. He's his mind, his skills. That's what makes him so special. His talents.
If you would, sir, as you know, most slaves do hard work. His mind is a little bit more advanced, so I feel someone of a higher caliber might put him to better use as opposed to just grueling slave work, which would probably shorten its lifespan.
You should really see what he's capable.
Oh, in due time, of course. Please, I would like for you to dig into your meals as we continue our conversation. I want to get to know you some more. I have plenty of questions, I assure you.
Jason, I fucking love this. This is great.
The toller comes out and drops a platter in between you guys and opens it up. And it's sort of like that platter that has like an assortment of like meats and cheeses, kind of like finger foods on it for you guys to dig into. So, you were looking to sell this Kenku. Is that what I'm gathering from all this?
Well, he is a showbird, but...
What about yourselves? Where do you come from? How do the rest of you all fit into this? Quite the interesting looking gang.
Out of character real quick, just to remind everyone, remember the goal is to eventually get Hush, or see if he has Hush, to see if, you guys were gonna, like, trade Aesop for another invalid Kenku.
Yeah.
Well, you see, we're, a little bit of a ragtag group, but we all aid with the process of rehabilitating and finding better use for slaves, because it's and I kind of looked at Glace, lacking words on the betterment, saying we want to push them further. What more of your vision statement would be?
So I'm to assume that you each, gathering such weak but potential slaves, use your skill sets to help round them out and sharpen them up for potential buyers.
Correct, sir. And should any of these have any defensive skill, me and I kind of nod to Sun Kong, we're basically in charge of training them to make sure that they're physically ready to be able to do anything. Should it be just grunt work.
Was weak. Now, valuable asset.
See, when we got this one, he could even mimic. Now he can mimic away, along with his many other talents. We like finding the ones that are timid or have some kind of disability that people, would just throw them out, and we make them into works of art, so to say.
This one couldn't even speak a word when you first found it, is that what you're telling me?
He stuttered a little bit. That's the best that he could do.
What is the name of this slave, if y'all have taken the time to give it one?
Oh, why, this is Stitches.
Stitches, very nice. Is there a particular meaning behind the name?
He just looked like a Stitches to me. Patching him up with all... Just stitches.
Ah, I see. A patchwork of different skills to build into a fine recruitment for someone like me, as you've come to, I suppose, have me offer something for this one.
Well, do you have Kenku that we could rehabilitate and train and turn into a whole new slave?
Well, my dear, I happen to be in possession of quite the workforce, particularly of a good handful of Kenku.
I don't want your working force, Kenku. I want your Kenku who are harder to deal with.
I see. It sounds like you're not just looking for any old typical Kenku then.
Oh no.
What kind of specifications would you be specifically looking for in terms of what I'm assuming some type of trade, perchance?
Oh, well, like I said before, any disabilities, any behavior problems, the rebellious type. We can always get them into shape real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Let me run through my mind. Now, I am a busy man, and certainly you could not assume that I would know all of the disabilities that each of our workforces has, but
of course,
I sometimes happen to keep a recollection of the more recent entries into our workforce, who happen to sometimes work at the factories or divvied out at certain other areas of Skorge in general. We tend to use them for a lot of our facilities and things that we need. Perhaps even a servant in one of the houses. It all depends. Now, are you looking for something that isn't just prime working material? Let's see here. I would surmise that you may be looking for one that isn't exactly to age. Perhaps a younger one.
Oh, do you have a younger one?
I may have a few of the younger ones, but not just any younger one. I believe I may have one in my possession that, well, can't even speak.
Really?
Similar to your friend over there.
Jason, I have to make a roll. Alright, we're good.
Okay, well, that is promising. I am very interested. Very interested to meet this slave.
Oh, and I'm very interested to potentially show you this slave. Funnily enough, there seems to be a link between the two here, as I've learned in the past. Bit of a thorn in my side that I've had old Kemo here begin to look into. Seem to have left a little bit of a paper trail talking about the two of you, he says with a smile.
Can I do an insight check on him?
Sure.
Is he... Oh, well, fuck. That's a 7.
Wait, what's the implication when he says the two of you?
He finishes wiping his mouth and says, well, there we go. All done with the fish. And you guys hear the sound of a click as a toller at the far end pulls one of the candle works on the side of the wall as it shifts off. Nvidi, Rinkaz, Aesop, Sunkong, Glace, you feel your chairs quickly shift and you clamber into a small chute as you fall underneath.
Oh, no.
You begin sliding down into darkness. The chutes quickly shift and slant, and you guys find yourselves falling at an angle. And each of you shoot out, not very bright, but brighter than the darkness of the chutes, or blinds you for just a second as you kind of fall on your asses and backs and look around, each of you finding yourselves in a cell.
Oh no.
Fuck.
The chairs, Kemo, as you appear, look around. The trap marble tiles underneath shift and the chairs come back up into position. He looks back up at you and says, "Well, now that I'm done with my dinner, I believe we could talk business, Kemo."
Still need subject 21.
I do. I plan on having you get together with your friends down there. Clearly, this Aesop has connections with my little problem.
Oh, he knows my fucking name!
I'll go down there and have a chat with them soon enough once they're settled down there. Little bit of holding cells that I've put them into. Security down there, don't worry about them trying to wiggle their way out. However, I do have a suggestion for you, Kemo. I have a lucrative offer, but I'm growing impatient as this subject 21 has yet to be found. 3 days, Kemo. I want you to bring back some type of information to show me that you've taken care of this problem for me. Something to validate it. You see, I hire good people to take care of my bad problems. Think you could do something like this for me?
This is exactly the kind of thing that I do.
Good, good. I'm going to have you work specifically with those folks down there since they seem to have some tie to this figure. Find it with them. Work together for as long as you need to track it down within the 3 days, Kemo. And you don't want to go past those 3 days. I only have so much patience, you see. Find this subject 21. Take care of it. Kemo. I don't like loose ends. Once you've taken care of subject 21, take care of the other one for me.
Oh god, does he need me? Hush! Oh no!
That's good.
We'd have to wait 2 weeks to find out.
500 gold up front, he says, as a toller shifts a large pouch of gold in front of you. And an extra 500 when the job is all done.
Kemo kind of considers the money. Looks up, says, "They're not going to trust me if I'm not down there too."
Oh, that's why we're about to go down and have a conversation with him, of course. You can understand my agitation as they come into my house and lie in front of my face instead of coming out with the truth. But after we clear the air, I believe giving them a second chance will give them the opportunity to work along with you.
I guess that remains to be seen.
Either way, they can either agree or rot in their cells.
They need a reason to believe that I won't kill. They need a reason to believe that we won't kill them.
Well, I assume that you have probably at least hinted that you are on a mission by the Scuzziotellis to already either find out information or do something bad to the Subject 21. Am I wrong?
No.
Well, then there you go. There's no need to share any other information than that, my friend. Unless, of course, you aren't liking the giant pile of gold I just pushed in front of you.
Kemo pockets the gold.
That's what I like to see, my friend. I'll consider this a deal made.
The deal done.
3 days, Kemo. Keep track of time here. It's very dark. As he says this and you finish this deal, Kemo, the rest of you guys down underneath find yourselves in cells.
God damn it. Well, the deception got us that far at least. I'm about to mouth off for the rest of this adventure once we get out of here, by the way. No more of this fucking bullshit where I pretend to be a slave, you hear me? I'm gonna have a stern conversation with all of you when we get back on the ship, by the way. You seem to get into character a little too easily.
You guys hear Aesop say this, but at the sides of your prison walls is all stone except for the front, door-shaped iron bars, so you can't see each other, but you clearly hear the echoing sound of Aesop from probably either close to some of you or at least a cell or two over.
Murder.
You can hear in the distance the clanking sound of what sounds like a toller. Probably not like right up at you guys, but probably patrolling somewhere close in the cells here.
Do we have our items with us?
You have all of your gear on you.
I don't think he would let us have our gear and just sit in here, because clearly we would be able to cause some quite hell. Let's wait and see what happens.
Fair.
We have
Sorry, go ahead, Duncan.
Glace, Sun Kong, and Aesop, the only other opening besides the light that pierces through your cell doors and the sort of shanty bed next to you, piercing through at the other side where the doors are, is just a bit of light that comes through a grating. It looks like if the grating wasn't there with these iron bars, you could maybe fit through it, and it looks like it would get you probably like outside of the grounds of the estate itself, although you'd still have to try and find a way to clear the sort of the full grounds. You know, you wouldn't be outside of the iron fence and there'd still be patrols around, but it looks like you would at least be outside of the estate itself.
Can
A few minutes pass by. Aesop, you hear shifting sounds of wet but heavy footsteps coming from near the grating up at the top, a shadow covering it. A dirty, wet letter slips through the bars. There is something out there, something large, but you can't make out the shape of it because of the darkness outside covering the light. What do you do?
Aesop?
Aesop?
Sorry, was I on mute?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Fuck.
so.
Seems like it.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Fuck. I said, hello, who's there? And then I said I scrambled towards the door in the letter.
Okay, so the letter falls through the grating that's on the other side, not where the door is.
Yeah. I scrambled towards the letter.
Okay.
I say, who's there? And then I scrambled towards the letter.
You scrambled towards the letter. Are you opening it?
Well, is the person gone?
As you kind of grab onto the envelope, you still see only darkness up above you, but you see thick, long, Kenku-looking fingers grab the iron bars and pull. There is a wrenching sound as the stone around the iron bars gives. There is some sound to it, although it doesn't sound like it would echo too far for any of the tollers to hear. It cracks and lifts up. You see the whole iron bar with just like a rim of this stonework around it pulled up, and it is set back down gently. You hear footsteps, and then it's gone.
I look at the letter and open it.
You open the letter. Peering at it, it simply says, In Auran, the time has come. Meet me in Shanty Square. Come alone. At the bottom
Oh my god.
is a signature signed M.
Melody. Oh my god, she's alive. Oh, she's going to be mad that I lost our daughter.
The grating up above you has been rendered asunder, and although has been set back in place, you could easily push it off and escape through there. However, you'd be leaving the rest behind.
I say to the group quietly, everyone, there's something I have to do. Please stay here. Try not to arouse too much suspicion.
What?
I promise I'll come back. We'll come back.
Wait, what?
And Aesop runs off into the towards the edge of the grounds.
You guys hear the shifting of stone. You can't see into his cell to hear what he's doing, but something's happening. Aesop, you push against the iron bars, kind of shifting it, almost like a manhole cover, kind of just pushing it to the side. And pull yourself... Oh, go ahead.
To be perfectly fair, I do take a look around the room and see if there's like a key ring or like a lever that would open these gates.
Make a perception check.
Alright.
You do not see anything of note down here.
Oh, well, we'll come back together. Don't worry, I'll return. And Aesop takes off super fast. Jason, if it matters, while I'm in darkness, my speed is 50.
Oh.
Okay. As you ascend, crawling out, you find yourselves on the rocky estate grounds. You can see not too far from you, but you haven't gained their attention yet. Some taller shifting guards. 50 or so feet out, you can see the perimeter of the iron gates.
I would like to stealthily move past them, and since I can fly, I will fly over the gate stealthily.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Stealth bomber Aesop.
I am trained in stealth, but I figure, inspiration. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me?
You're getting used to those wings.
Well, Jason, that's still a 12.
Oh.
I'm trained in stealth.
Okay, so
in dexterity.
You try to stick to what shadows that you can. There is some they aren't covered in many leaves, but some sort of just ratty bushes and stuff like that around here. And you try to make your way through the shadows. You get close enough to where you appear like you can kind of make your way up over the iron bars using your newly acquired wings. And you do so. Looking back, you notice the tollers have stopped, but with your check, you're unsure if you've gained their attention just yet.
I just keep going.
And you just keep flying. Make a perception check as you soar over town. You've never been to a place called Shanty Square.
It's, again, a 12, because apparently Roll20 fucking hates me now.
It's taken you some time, but you get some distance up, just having to occasionally dodge the plumes of what you assume to be sort of toxic or acidic smoke that pours out from some of the factories around here. You peer around. It takes you 10, 15 minutes, but you eventually see an area that looks to be built up, full of just empty scaffolding, what looks to be like half-in-development homes that never got fully completed. There's no sign markage here, but after you're searching over this amount of time, you would assume that this is the best spot.
I'm taking it on a wing and a prayer, you could say?
Mm-hmm.
You get it because I'm flying?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, I got it. Ending strong tonight, folks.
You land in what you assume to be Shanty Square.
It looks pretty shanty.
There is no one around here. It is dark. A lot of the scaffolding and housing here are covered in various cloths as if they were either trying to still develop or just gave up at some point. A lot of it looks rotted and downtrodden. You look around and notice that a lot of areas here, although you have your dark vision to support you, but it is very dark. And one could easily hide amongst the area here.
I have 30 feet of dark vision, if it matters. And I will say out loud, in Orin, Melody?
You hear a shifting coming from one of the shanty-like alleyways constructed between the pieces of wood. And shifting out from it, you see a figure. Clothed in greenish cloak and hood, very ratty, torn in many areas. It covers their form. You see over their face, different in style than yours very clearly, but still some type of covering over their face. White, covered in scratches and marks and clearly not been having cleaned for some time. A long beak-like appendage over it. All you can see within the black pox of the eye marks similar to your own mask are two beady scintillating pupils within. The figure slowly steps towards you from a distance of 40 or so feet and says, and that's where we'll end this session.
Shoot it.
Well, thank you guys for staying super late with me.
Oh man, totally worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask Aesop for sleep bullets.
Oh no, I gave you, didn't I? No, I used one to bring that guy back to life that I was supposed to poison. I didn't give you any sleep bullet. But he hasn't attacked me outright, so that's good.
With that, thank you for staying up late to join me. Thank you everybody who's stuck around to watch. If you guys missed any of this stuff, you can always catch it either on our Twitch VOD or on YouTube. That's GAWD_mode, or just type in the Wyrd and Wyld name. That'll probably pull up all of our previous sessions as well if you want to watch any of those. Thank you for watching. You guys build up loyalty points as you watch, any of you watching, so you can use those to buy cool stuff. We kind of have like a little rolling couple of images here on our streaming page. It shows you some of the cool things you can buy. You can check your loyalty points down there at the URL at the bottom right of our streaming page. You can also just look at the details underneath our Twitch kind of streaming area to see all the details on the cool stuff you can buy. Check that out, it's really neat. We'll just yell out whoever's here. These are probably mostly robots, but let's see. Another TV viewer, Apricot Droop Fruit, Commander Root, he's totally a robot. Polize, Ted, and Zane
Ted's
Kyber.
real. Ted's fucking real. Don't even
I
Got the
hope
most
so.
weird bits.
I hope so.
Oh, who's that? Who's that number 2? That guy's sure
need
is
to get
handsome.
rid of
It's a
all wall
dick.
attack.
But yeah, don't listen to any of the players. Thank you guys so much for joining. You're not dicks. Buy stuff for them. You get cool stuff as you build up points. Check out those details. See how much points you have. Buy some cool stuff. There's some rewards there. Thank you for joining me. As I mentioned before, the next 2 weeks we will be skipping because I have plans both of those Fridays. So I'm very sorry to all my players, but we will come back strong. Thank you, Kyle, for hanging out. There will be a whole lot more going on when we get back, and I kind of, you guys probably saw that I was sort of pushing things forward a little quick there towards the end to get to a kind of cool cliffhanger for a few different characters there. So hopefully that, guys, leaves you some stuff to munch on in between this break here.
I think the pace was perfect.
Well, good. Thank you. A long combat session, but I kind of wanted to give the ability for Kyle to test out some of his cool stuff as well as working with you guys. And hey, it turns out that a lot of you tried to attack each other, and one of you nearly blasted his HP in half. So a great way to introduce a new player to the game. Welcome, Kyle.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. I really appreciate it. So we're going to be skipping the next 2 weeks, but we'll come back. I'll name the date here. So let's see. Not the 4th. Well, I'm sorry, not the 3rd, not the 10th, but we'll be coming back the 17th of May. Streaming strong. So thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you in 3 weeks. Bye everybody.
Bye.